父さんも大変だね。
今新たなる力を加えた怪獣軍団が地球に迫る。迎え撃てグレートウルトラの戦士と共に。ウルトラ怪獣ウルトラヒーローシリーズバンダイから。
ロイズのハロウィン。おや、今年もキュートで愉快な仲間たちがやってきました。かわいいお菓子やチョコレートにお化けたちもドキドキ。あなたのお家でも楽しい、おいしいハロウィンで盛り上がろう。ロイズでワクワク。
Today on Collectible Monsters, we're celebrating Halloween and the season that makes it spooky with an all-new Kaiju Spooktacular. Plus, we're giving away this rad King Joe figure from Marathon, direct from Japan. Ikimacho!
Why, hello, and welcome to another episode of Collect All Monsters, the show that takes a look at the kaiju genre from the collectible side. Just kidding. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
Happy Kaiju-Ween!
Everybody!
Halloween.
Oh, it's good to be back, everybody. It's good to be back, and thank you guys all for tuning in live. We are broadcasting this episode 21, our Kaiju-Ween Spooktacular,
21
to both
Jeez.
YouTube and Facebook. And I can't wait to get started on this and really dive into some cool stuff. We don't have our normal people with us. We've got a couple of subs downstairs here, and we're going to talk to them in just a few minutes. But before we get started, I thought we'd do our regular thing and do our show and tell. And we'll kick things off with Mr. David Dopko, who's going to show us what he got in the mail over the past month.
Hey, what's up,
dude?
guys? What's up, Kyle and John? Always a pleasure. And thank you, Jonathan and Jessica, for joining us. This is going to be a fun show. Really, really glad that you can be here with us today. So, unfortunately, this is going to be a rather short show and tell for Uncle Dave because not a whole lot of things came my way, not a whole lot of box days, but I will start with the one thing that I did get. I got the Mondo regular version. I think there's an actual title for it. Return of Godzilla, regular version, 1984
If
figure.
only I had my header card with me.
Yeah, I know. My header card's already it's already filed away in the box. The header cards go in, which needs to be organized one day. But yes, I did get this guy. I was lucky enough to snag one, and I'm pretty pleased with it overall. If you want to see my review, I did kind of a review on it with some photos, and I give it a solid 4 out of 5. I'm pretty pleased with it, and I'm happy to have at least one. I really wanted the glow in the dark pink cherry blossom version, which I think everybody else and their mother wanted too, but you know how that went. So I did get this one. I like it a lot. It's a solid little figure, and I think the face sculpt is just what makes it. And
Absolutely.
And it's nice. It's a nice addition. And then, the only other thing that I got was actually a gift. I got this awesome vintage Ultraman figure book with some cool images from my friend and a show of a good friend of our show, Steve Serajoli. He knew that I was going through a bunch of health issues and some tests that were kind of freaking me out, and I was a little bit bummed out. And he just sent this to me to cheer me up. And I just thought that was really cool. And like I've said many times before, I'm so happy to be a part of this community, and everybody looks out for each other, and it's it's great. So that's all I got, and I'm waiting for some things, and I will mention a couple things just so it's not so pathetic that only got really 2 things. Of course, the X Plus Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, which should be dropping next month or so. We're not quite sure when that's going to be, but I'm really looking forward to that. And probably the thing that I'm most excited about is getting the Mondo figure by Attack Peter, aka
Yes, absolutely.
So cool.
Yes, aka Peter Santa Maria. It's this beautiful stylized figure that represents. It's a 3-dimensional representation of his artwork. So I'm so excited that I'm going to be getting that piece. I'm not even sure when that's going to drop. Maybe Kyle or one of you guys can help me when that's dropping.
Summer.
Summer. Yeah, so a while, a little bit of time, but very excited to get that. That's pretty much all I've got going on right now. Let's pass it down or over now to my buddy John Ruffin in Philadelphia. How's it going, John? And I know you're going to have a little bit more than I did to show. I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to make my segment as fast as possible. Well, it's great to be here with Kyle and David, and good to see you guys. And it's a pleasure to have Jessica and Jonathan with us today, and Christine
Thank you.
and Leslie's absent. Thank you guys for being with us. And so it's doing all right here in Philly. It's been some bumpy days, but it's great to be here with you. I have a lot of stuff to show you. It's been a long month, so let me do this quickly, but I got some stuff I would love to share with you. So got a couple more tapes, Godzilla cassette tapes,
cool.
Building up my Japanese Godzilla cassette tape collection. So I'm excited about them.
I just got a record of that tape with the blue and orange one that you have there.
Yeah, the like Godzilla Legend. Is it this one?
Yeah.
Yes, I still need to get that album. And I found 2 vintage from the House of Fun in New Jersey. I got a couple vintage Godzilla buttons. Oh, simple.
Nice.
Very nice.
Awesome.
That Godzilla vs. Megalon, Godzilla 1984.
I like it.
For most small items. Let's see. Got this yesterday. The glowing,
yes.
Super 7.
Nice.
Godzilla Shogun. Yeah, little guy.
Classic.
And, yes. Okay. Went to New York. It was the last weekend. And I had to pick up the Bandai Mechagodzilla. Just, got to add something to the collection. I talked about this on a previous show, but I finally came in. The Godzilla Karuta, the new one, the Roaring set.
Oh, right.
So this is great.
Nice.
And
Nice.
I pre-ordered it. You got 6 additional cards, 6 different incarnations of Godzilla, which is great.
That's fantastic.
As I was anticipating this, I said, let me flesh out the rest of my Karuta collection, because I can't afford the first one. It's $100,000+ to get that. But I found 2 older ones that I added to my collection.
Oh, perfect.
Godzilla and Dinosaurs, and the other one's photographic, this one with Godzilla and Gigan. But it's all really, really, really great looking set. Got them very cheap. Okay. Couple more things. Almost there. This came in the mail today. So trying to build out my old vintage collection. This is the Godzilla it's a rubber figure.
Piece. Yep.
Bandai.
Oh, wow.
But
Yeah.
came, close to mint, so I'm happy about that. A couple days ago, I got
Very
this
nice.
to go with my Mecha Godzilla. It's the radio controlled. Godzilla.
We have the commercial for that.
Wow.
Yep.
Nice.
Love it.
Now, the last 4 things I'm going to show you. These are the things I'm really happy about. So excited about. This is from 1954, November, out in Japan. It was a magazine called Heibon. And inside is an original spread of Godzilla 1954. All inside, really fantastic.
Whoa.
So this was
That's
an
an original
find.
magazine. That's not a reprint.
Yes, not a reprint. It's from 1954.
Look at the quality of that. It's beautiful
Yes,
shape.
it cost me
Wow.
cost me something, but
It looks mint.
Yeah.
it's considered close to mint, so good condition.
Nice work.
Okay, now I'm getting closer, and then I found this the other day on Mandarake, and I knew if I didn't get this, I wasn't going to have it, and I've seen others with it, and I was like, oh God, just see if I can open up the container. Almost done. A Godzilla claw.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
HMV
Nice.
and M1.
Yep.
Did this as a promotional item with Toho back in 2004, and this is the monster
GMK
master.
Claw, right?
Yeah, this is Godzilla against SOS, Tokyo SOS.
Oh, really?
Sculpted
Nice.
by the great monster maker Shinichi Wakasa.
Wakasa.
Yes. So this was as soon as I saw it, I grabbed it.
Beautiful.
I was going to stay there long. Now,
John, if you ever decide to frame it, I have a suggestion for a shadow box for you.
Oh, please.
That's
okay.
awesome idea.
Yes, that's great.
Oh, what a great way to display it.
Years ago, I had this Bandai handbook, the Tokusatsu collection. It's like a little. It has a cool diorama and all the various model kits. And so I never had the first 2 volumes, so I was able to find them.
Oh, wow.
Sorry
Fantastic.
Right on.
That's
Cool.
Okay, so that was a nice pickup. Now here's the 2 pieces. I found 2 replica reprint scripts of Godzilla.
Oh, wow.
Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster and Godzilla vs. Bamante. Yes.
Wow.
I was really happy to find these. These are wonderful.
Christine's gonna hate herself missing this one.
Oh yeah. So the scripts are
Wow.
they're just dynamite. They're wonderful, wonderful pieces. Oh, and I forgot one more thing. This I got a second one because I'm gonna put this one together. Got another
Oh, wow.
Super X model, and that's my box days.
Wow, you're having like a G-Fest haul over
Woo.
here.
Boy, now
Right?
you make me
Well,
feel
you gotta
even
get it.
worse, John. Man. But
I left out.
I do have a favor to ask you though. Can
Yeah.
you show us the artwork on your little Super 7 box? Because I think the artwork is worth the little Super 7. I love the artwork. That to me, I want that as a poster. I
Isn't that
absolutely love
beautiful?
that. It's
Yes,
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I was surprised they were still available. $25. I wasn't gonna let
Can't
that
beat
go.
it.
Can't beat it. So that's been my last few weeks box days, and so let's see, Jonathan, are you next?
Yeah, that's Jonathan's
Welcome,
next. Yeah.
and how have you been? And
what you got? Wow. Okay. So how do you follow that?
Exactly.
I will say.
Well, actually, let's
Right?
follow that by you giving yourself a brief
time to go
introduction of who you are.
Yes.
So the people who haven't seen the group videos can actually know who you are.
So I'm Jonathan Portman. I am a moderator / admin in the Collectible Monsters Monster Collectors Facebook group, and I'm here pinch hitting for Leslie. Huge thank you to Kyle, David, and John for having thinking of me and having me on. It's a huge honor, and Jessica, it's a pleasure to have you with me as well.
Thank you very much.
We can both do this for the first time. Here we go.
Heck yeah.
So, in terms of box days, I don't have much. I have like 2 items. Well, items, but so I got these through Kaiju Live a few weeks ago. They are Godzilla Smashies. These are SDCC San Diego Comic-Con 2021 exclusives. It's only you can only get the Rodan in this 3-pack apparently. The Rodan is the exclusive, and basically they're stress dolls. So for me, since I work a lot in media and I'm constantly doing this, I'm constantly squeezing this guy, and he's loving it. See, he's loving it. This is black and white Godzilla 54. This one is Atomic Godzilla, right?
Nice.
And then we got Rodan right here.
Nice.
Cute little Rodan.
Nice.
And they
That's
make
cool.
a nice little team, and they can hang out with me, and I can squeeze them, and they'll love it, and it's fun. But yeah, huge shout out to Kaiju Live for hooking me up with those. And then Kyle, I believe you have pictures for the custom VHS box art. I would show you them, but I feel like the pictures are better to show better quality.
Sure.
These are custom VHS tapes boxes that I had made
Wow.
by a guy on Etsy. His name is Cinemarama, and he does great work. He does a lot of 90s style, classic vintage box art for VHS. And I wanted to have a reference to go along with the rest of my VHS tapes. I went on this whole spree of getting the Showa era, and I was like, you know what? I want to get the the Heisei era. So thanks to John Ruffin, who showed his VHS, his Japanese VHS of Godzilla 84. I had to get that. As soon as I got that, I already had the Biollante, and I was like, well, it has this Noriyoshi Orai aesthetic already. I love his posters. I love his art. I said, please, can you give me, in your style, but keep true to his work, these posters in VHS box art form? And he did it wonderfully. I mean,
he nailed it. He
nailed it. The last one is basically verbatim, but I'm kind of happy with that. The rest of them, I just love how uniquely the same, but also different they are. And I just love the colors, pops. I have it next to everything on the bookshelf, and it's just, I'm very excited. I know I'm missing one. It's Godzilla versus Mothra. I'm having him redo that one because there was a little negative space in one area that I wanted him to add Battery into, but I'll reveal that another day, I suppose. But that's it, guys. That's my recent box day.
Awesome. Fantastic, Jonathan.
And I guess we'll kick it off to the Kaiju Queen, right? To Jessica.
That's right.
Down below.
Welcome, Jessica.
What's going on, guys? It is a pleasure, number one, to join you guys, to sit here for Christine. This is actually my second time being on the show. The first time was, last month with Rich and Leslie up at his house.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I do want to show this off, actually. So this is a little Anguirus.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
David knows this because it was painted
your collection
by David.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Oh.
I wanted to specifically display it tonight just because of David.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I'm glad you dig it. I'm so happy you like it.
Dude, it is absolutely one of my favorite pieces here in Kaiju Queen headquarters.
Well, that makes that made my day. Made my day.
So for my recent grabs or whatever, hang on, let me try to adjust my camera a little bit. So for my recent grabs, I actually only have one thing. The SH Monster, it's 1989 version.
Yes.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So I haven't even opened this yet, so I'm going to do it right here on the show.
Ooh. Yes.
Bold
Perfect.
choice. Especially
look
for
Pristine.
Yeah, you're doing a great job of subbing for Christine, too, by the way.
Now, I have...
It was in the contract. It was in the contract. You had to.
Mention
89.
At least 5 times during the show.
Yeah, so I have to live up to Christine. I mean, she is one of my best friends, and I got to do a good job for the girl. You know what I mean? So I personally, as you guys know, am the queen of the Monstars. I have never had many issues with these guys falling apart for me. Now, with that being said, there have been a couple, like the original King Ghidorah, and offhand, I would have to say, oh my God, putting the Mechagodzilla together from the poster version.
Oh, right, yeah. That was a pain in the ass.
Yes. I mean, I had Transformers as a kid, but that thing was tough.
Uh-oh. What just fell?
Oh, no.
Would you look at that?
His lower jaw.
I just cursed myself.
You did.
By the way.
Uh-oh.
SH Monstars is not short of, fragility. They are definitely loose in parts.
Well, like I said, I personally, I have not had many problems. The fact that I have to put a jaw back on, no deal. But I mean, this figure, it looks phenomenal. If you guys can see, I mean, this camera is just not even doing it justice, to be honest with you. I have the original version up on my shelf, and I can't wait to make some room to make this guy fit. And actually, John, to go along with your claw, when me, Kyle, and the Fanvasion went to Japan, we went to Michi and Yuji's, and a part of their promotion or whatever, they also did.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's from right.
That's awesome.
So that's the one from SOS, right?
Somebody has one because I
From
saw it
SOS.
Yep.
Yes.
And
awesome.
it even has the scriptures on the back.
I love
Wow.
it.
I never even knew that existed. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just learned of it a couple days ago.
So I've seen these as far as like reprints, but you guys knowing Yuji, I don't know if this is a production replica.
Right.
As far as like movie used or whatever.
I'd be shocked if it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like I'd be shocked if what that was not just a, like they had to make 5 or 10 or 50 or whatever just to make the mold worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What a piece. That's great.
It's amazing.
Excellent.
That's a prized possession in my collection. David, your Anguirus, of course. And I can't wait to see what Monster Arts is coming up with next. Supposedly, they have a big announcement coming up saying that the possibility of the 89's coming out. I mean, excuse me, not 89, 98. So we'll see what happens with that one.
Whoa.
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
Thank you.
Excellent. Nice work.
Jealous.
All right. So I will take over here and go on with not just my box days, but also something to share. We have, we're down a member. We're down 2 members. One of them is Leslie P. Chambers, who does his own Leslie Chambers Kaiju reviews. And last week, a couple of weeks ago, I was on there with AJ Russo and Jordan, who, man, I can't remember his screen name right now, and Sandra and Leslie, and we all chatted about GMK for probably about 2 hours. So it was a real fun chat.
That was
it's
great.
all up on Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews YouTube channel, which we'll get a link in the show notes when we're done wrapping up here. So I wanted to make sure to announce that and pimp that, especially since Leslie's not here to do so. I have very small box days as well, so I was very happy that I picked up the this is, I think, the Super X variant. I'm having trouble remembering them too.
Yeah, I can't remember what they're
but
called.
This is a gold on metallic blue vinyl with red eyes.
That has some really pretty colors to it.
For sure.
Yeah.
This is I like this one better than the one that David has, and it's probably just as awesome as the pink one whenever that one like makes its live appearance in front of actual people. I don't know if I'm going to actually try for another one of these Mondo 84s, but I really do love the sculpt. The sculpt was just Hector knocked it out of the park in my opinion. So
he did.
Damn.
That's that. I did get a couple more things that I can just super briefly show off. I just can't do a Halloween episode without talking about yokai, right? So I got my yokai trilogy, actually not just trilogy, but the collection. So this is the yokai trilogy from the 60s, plus the Takashi Miike film on Blu-ray from Arrow. Super happy to have that now.
Nice.
Other media pickups were the Ultraman.
Yeah, I gotta get that.
Yes,
this is only on DVD, unfortunately, because they don't have the materials for HD, I believe. And the same thing goes for Ultraman 80, also from Mill Creek. And last but not least, in the department of what I got recently, I ended up picking up the Godzilla vs. Kong art, quote unquote, book. Because it was cheap. It was already like $20 off or something like that. So I was like, there we go. Now I'll spend money on it.
It's a good way to get more of the story behind the scenes.
There you go.
For sure. I mean, I'm pretty... Jessica, you might not know this because you haven't been on the show, but basically I am really, really picky when it comes to art of books. My art of books growing up, the soapbox, which I'll take just a couple seconds to stand on. My art of books were the Star Wars art of books when I grew up, and so every other art of X movie needs to be judged against that benchmark.
You know what? Now that you do say that, Kyle, I remember you saying that at G-Fest we had a conversation about this.
That doesn't surprise me because I'd like to step up on the soapbox when I get the opportunity, right? Anyway, that's it for my box days. That's it for my things I need to share until we get to our news segment, which, Jessica, that's when we're going to be covering what you're talking about, what you're asking me about. But since Mr. Chambers is not here, I'm going to do my best. Not my best Steve Harvey, because that's just not cool. I'm going to do my best job to shout out to all the people watching. So, hello, Luminous, Zombie Painter, Altiran Kaiju, Kaiju Battle. What's up, Michael Farah? Definitely check out that website. Kaiju-tastic Media, Bad Goji, awesome. Collect All Monsters. Wait, that's us. Let's see, who else do we have in here?
That's us.
Down.
What?
Ryan Mitchell.
From the UK.
Enzyme 2000. I feel like I know who that is. I know who Enzyme 2000 is. Luminous got a puppy, you guys.
Aw.
Nice.
Hopefully that's really true. That's great. All right, so anyway, Larry Latham, what's up, dude? Godzilla Train 1090, that is Adrian. How's it going, brother?
Adrian.
Who else we have? Greg Fountain watching, Liam Foley, Eric Stoltz here.
Eric,
Liam.
Helmy, watch it on Facebook. What's
up, Helmy?
Helmy, have you
gotten
guys? your Mothra Rick Deferreal yet? I haven't checked the tracking on that, but I'm curious. Anyway, also Francisco is here. One of our Facebook member groups. All these people, almost all of them, are in our Facebook group. FYI. Let's see who else is watching. Venus, welcome.
Hey, Venus! Wow, Venus, what's up?
Tim Outen, man, I really hope I'm not forgetting anybody. I think I'm doing a great job.
You are doing a great job.
Stellar.
Fantastic.
Everybody else's name looks familiar. Christopher Hill, there you are. Hello. And Ryan John, hi to you as well. And hey, why not say hello to Sergio from Mexico?
Oh,
Sergio,
what's up? Welcome.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bienvenidos. We are a global show here, celebrating.
Yes, we are.
Worldwide.
All right, so as everybody who watches the show regularly knows, we go straight from saying hello with our chat check-in right into the Kaiju collectible news, like so. Okay, so first up, we're going to go with Mr. David Dopko. So let me give you the big spotlight, sir.
Give me the big spotlight with my Matango fungus shirt.
Yeah, that's here.
By Nev Michael. Artist extraordinaire, horror artist who does some great stuff. So, what's up, Nev? You need to watch one of these days so you can see that I'm talking about you. Anyway, he's got great stuff. So please check out Nev's work when you get a chance. Before I get into my news story, I forgot something kind of cool happened twice. The official Toho Twitter featured two of my photos on the Twitter, which is pretty darn cool. I think that it was a huge honor to have them recognize and utilize some of the photographs that I've been doing for a long time. And that is the perfect segue into my news story, which I'm very excited. If you haven't heard about it or you haven't seen my submissions, X Plus is doing a Toho Daikaiju themed photo contest.
Yay.
There it is, right there.
Nice.
And the submission period is between October 8th and October 25th, 2021. Now, you can use anything that you have X Plus wise. It doesn't have to be Godzilla related. You could Photoshop. Oh, yeah. Kyle's going to show some of my submissions that are in the background as I'm talking. You can photograph your favorite 25 centimeter, 35 centimeter gigantic or Defo real figures. John freelances for X Plus, so he's exempt, thank goodness, because none of us would have a chance if that, whatever.
Oh, no.
But we all know how that goes. But again, you can post them on Instagram or on Twitter, and the hashtag is RickPhotoCon21S, and that's going to be in our show notes. We'll have that all ready for you. So I really want to see everybody submit stuff, and there are going to be some prizes too. There's going to be one grand prize winner, and that person gets $30,000 yen.
I was be like, oh my goodness.
I was like, wow.
I'm about to enter some more now. No, 30,000 yen worth of Shonen Rick coupons. So you can put that towards some more awesome great. X Plus figures and stuff.
So that's like $300 for the people who
correct.
know that
Correct.
version.
And
awesome.
there's going to be one grand prize winner, but there are going to be several first place winners, and they will receive 10,000 yen worth of Shonen Rick coupons. And there will also be honorable mentions, which will also have several winners, and you get 5,000 yen worth of Shonen Rick coupons. So I encourage everyone to just have some fun. I don't care if I win anything. I'm having a blast doing this. Like, I'm submitting. I think I'm gonna limit it to 20. I think I'm about up to 15 now. But I'm trying to do all different types of stuff. Some whimsical, some serious,
David.
Some portraits. Yes, Jessica.
I'm sorry. I just want to make sure everybody has all the info. How much or how many entries per day can they enter?
There is no limit as far as I know from the instructions. It said post as many as you want. I mean, I would probably not do more than 20 or anything, because that's a little bit overkill. But if you feel like you need to do 20, you can. We're going to have all of the official instructions in the show notes. I'll make sure Kyle gets that so they can be added in there. And there's still plenty of time to enter, and go check out the hashtag and see what's in there so far. There's some really great stuff. I know Adrian Settle added some photos. Who else did? I don't know. I can't think right now. But go
live. Yeah.
Go check them out, and you will see some cool stuff, including mine. And I think I'm going to just add one or two more, until the contest is over. So good luck to everybody. Good luck to me. Have fun. Win some stuff. That's all I got. John, how about
before
you?
John goes, here.
Yes.
Ta-da!
There you go.
There we go.
Oh,
awesome.
There you go.
There it is.
Lots of submissions, but don't let that stop you. There's some really great stuff in there.
There's some really great stuff.
Yeah. There's some big shots.
Stan Hyde, Joey Wallace. I just noticed a couple of those.
Oh, great.
Nice.
Yes. So yes,
All
please
right.
enter the contest. It's fun. And who knows, you may win some coupons to buy more awesome X Plus figures. So thank you, X Plus. And thank you for opening it up to Instagram too, because not everybody does the Twitter, and it's a little bit more difficult to post
and
things
opening it up to the US, right?
And opening it up to the US. It is absolutely open up to the US. So just make sure you get the hashtag right. And if you have any questions about it, you can certainly email me or any of us here in Collect All Monsters. So, okay, take it away, John Ruffin. What you got for us?
Wow, I wish I could be a part of the photo contest, but I'm cheering everybody on. It's a fun process. So my news, we all know what's coming in November, and it's going to be better than ever. Carl, I think I have one photo for it. It's Godzilla Fest, November 3rd. And it really does promise to be better than last year. It's online once again, and this time it's completely free.
Nice.
Which is great. This is the 5th anniversary.
That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't it? 5th anniversary, I think, for Godzilla Fest. And it'll be on for 7 hours and on YouTube Live. And their slogan this year, I believe, is Godzilla at Home, because it's still, it's all online. And so we all can enjoy
this year
it.
I could finally fill my mugs with beer and actually kampai with the king on his birthday.
All right.
I think we're all going to do that.
Yes. There's also going to be the second production of it's like a tokusatsu special effects short Godzilla appears in Godzilla Festival. It's like a little mini movie of some sort. I never saw the first one, just clips of it. But maybe this year, we'll all get to see it together.
Is that image a screenshot from it there?
Yes.
Because I remember I remember seeing making of footage of that.
Wow, I would love
Yes,
to
that's
see
what
that.
I saw too. Yeah, so that should be fantastic. Also, it's Mothra's 60th anniversary, so there's going to be Mothra, the original first Mothra, is being remastered in 4K.
Nice.
I think it's going to be shown in December, but I think they're going to have some peaks or something's going to happen. I think on Godzilla Fest, and so that's really it. I'm looking forward to it. There might be some surprises. I'll keep you posted. But
so, John,
exciting.
Real quick, is this film going to be sort of similar to the one that they're showing at the Tsuburaya Museum? Is it that type of production?
No, it's not. It's well, they set up, I believe, miniatures and all that, and they film, but it's not as elaborate as that commercial and what that short is at Tsuburaya Museum. I still want to see that.
Oh man, I want to see it again and again and again. It's just the best thing I've seen in a long time.
And how long was that?
Movie. 8 minutes, Kyle. Wasn't it
minutes,
we timed it to 8?
Yeah, I was gonna say it was only a couple of minutes.
It's super short, but it definitely punches an impact. I would love to see a full length movie done in that style. That would be my wildest dream to see on the screen. But anyway, I just wanted to clarify what we were hoping to see on this event.
There's more information. You can get more information on Godzilla.store. So they do have details about that second production of Tokusatsu short film. So if I can get more details, I'll give it to Kyle so we can post it. Other than that, it should be great. I mean, the fact that it's free is encouraging.
Yeah, that's definitely cool because I remember not wanting to pay the money for an unknown online event that I'm not going to be able to understand most of what's happening.
Fair enough. Absolutely fair enough.
All right. Okay, so what that means is I think it's time for Jonathan, right? Or did you have anything else, John?
No, I'm done.
All right, Mr. Jonathan Portman. Let's talk about your Kaiju collectible news, sir.
So I'm going to be bringing you guys the news of XM Studios is coming out with some pretty cool Godzilla pieces. Now, XM Studios is a Singapore-based company. They deal with high-end collectibles, anything from DC to Marvel and etc., you name it. And they've got the Godzilla license, and they're doing some Godzilla pieces. And they're starting with a beautiful Godzilla versus Space Godzilla diorama set. And it was Toy Arc. These pictures are from Toy Arc, as well as from...
Wow.
Right? Now, these pieces are 60 meters tall, and they can be purchased either separately or together.
Are we dealing with the
I'm sorry.
situation here?
I'm sorry. Centimeters. I have love. 60 meters would be crazy.
Life.
So we got 60 meters
lifestyles.
And 30,000 yen.
And
$30,000.
This is a show dedicated to excess, everyone.
Way to go, everybody.
Absolutely. Collect all monsters.
Go big or go home.
That's right.
I know, right? So, okay.
Sorry.
Let me gather myself. No, it's okay. So these statues are 60 centimeters tall. They can be purchased separately or together as a pair. The Godzilla piece can be purchased with two separate bases. You'll see the pictures in a second via Michael Farah's KaijuBattle.net. There's one. There's one that comes with the crystal structures, and there's another one that comes with just the buildings and the bridge. You can mix and match as you please, or just get them separately.
I think they're pretty
or
cool,
together.
Actually.
Now these are polystone resin, cold cast, hand painted by renowned illustrator and sculptor Kenichi Tanaka. Now Kenichi Tanaka of Tanaka Studios released some pieces earlier this year I believe, or at least for pre-order, Godzilla 2000 bust resin kit, an FMS Godzilla 54 bust, an FMS Godzilla 2019 bust, and a Godzilla 1954 resin kit via Tanaka Studios. So there's no prices for these yet, but they were taking pre-orders at New York Comic Con this past week. So I'm not sure exactly how much they were for, but here's the next thing they're coming out with. These busts. There's a GMK bust here, another 60 centimeter bust, and these have prices. $1,199 for the GMK one. You can see just a beautiful, absolutely beautiful piece.
Wow,
I mean, I don't know if I could fit that in my apartment, but if I could, I would. That's just amazing piece. And I like how it comes with just so much detail, and then just the little, stand below. It's not too crazy. It's just nice and subtle because you want the focus to be the head, and that neck and everything. But and then there's another one they're releasing. It's a Shin Godzilla. There it is. Yeah. Wow. Another 60 centimeter bust at $1,199, and they were also taking pre-orders at New York Comic Con this past week. These are prototypes to be mentioned, so slight little things could change from here to now for release. As to my knowledge, there's no current release date, but you can find out more information on this if you want to go in more in depth. A lot of these pictures were grabbed from KaijuBattle.net and Toy Arc. Also, to mention, Ty Leitner, aka Heisenberg, a member of our group, posted a link to an interview he had done with XM Studios personally. Right. It goes more into depth, expanding with what they were made out of and the history and all sorts of really cool info about these pieces. It goes way more in depth than I'm going to go in on. And also there is a special project that they have announced. Luminous, that's right, that's him. There's a special project announced through this interview. And I'm not going to mention what the special project is. You'll have to go and watch that video to find out, but it's really cool. So check it out as well. That's my news.
Jonathan, send me the link to that in the private chat so I can add it to the show notes, please.
Absolutely.
Nice work. I'm not typically a fan of busts, as it were, but I like these just because they did bother to add a little bit of the dorsal plate on there. I think that's kind of a cool feature, which you don't normally see on a Godzilla bust. And
absolutely,
they're both pretty great. Like the GMK is like, and it's great. So like I said, I'm not a fan of busts, but I may have to break my.
That Shin Godzilla bust, I mean, was spot on.
Yeah, that was spot on. Yeah. I know John's interested in that, right?
I'm leaning towards GMK. Give me a payment plan and I'm in. Yeah.
A GMK.
Yeah, they're pretty pricey and they're big, but it might be time to bust out of my comfort zone and get a bust. All right. Yeah, okay. Dad. Sorry.
All right. Well, thank you, Jonathan. And this is Jessica's opportunity to hop in front of the audience here and tell us what she has for her news item, which is directly connected to her, pretty much. Not directly, indirectly.
Okay. What's going on, guys? So this convention actually holds a really special place in my heart because it just so happens the last time I was there, I got married to Akira Takarada. And it was on my birthday weekend. So, Kaylee, who plays Gia in Godzilla vs. King Kong, is going to be at the Northeast Comic-Con and Collectibles Extravaganza the weekend of November 26th through the 28th.
My birthday.
Bob Eggleton is going to, so we're going to celebrate my birthday, Tim's birthday, and David, we will definitely give you a cheers while we're out there.
Tim and I share the same birthday.
Yeah. It's a smaller convention, but it is a quality convention. When we were there with Takarada, like I said a couple of years ago, we had a blast. Kaylee is really excited to come up here. She wants to try or have a big New England lobster dinner. So if you guys forget that, you guys should forget about Black Friday. Come up to the convention, meet Kaylee, get your picture taken with her, and have an awesome weekend. We have other conventions coming up. We can't give away all of our secrets yet, you know that. But let me just check on this one really quickly. So next February 18th and through the 20th down in Pensacola, Florida at Pensacon. That's going to be another convention. We got some Ultraman guests coming. So keep your eyes out open. Japan Legends. Me and Tim. I'm Tim's assistant. He's the boss. He gets the stuff set up really well to try to get as much of these actors to the fandom. So
nice.
Hopefully it's going to be another great weekend for us.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Kaylee is a sweetheart. Everybody should come out and see her. She is deaf, in case you know. We will have interpreters, obviously, just like as we do for the Japanese guests. She had a lot of fun at her very first convention, which was at Pensacon in Florida. Definitely come out and say what's up. Say happy Thanksgiving. I'm sure we're all going to get together and have a big dinner together also. So,
well, if you're the assistant, Jessica, you may want to suggest doing something on the West Coast, because a lot of this show, we're out here on the West Coast. You know what I mean? And traveling back east for Thanksgiving is not something
That's right. We're a majority now, you East Coasters.
Well, especially when Christine is here.
1 week.
It's
one episode.
Seriously,
Listen,
I mean, don't forget about us out here.
No, absolutely. So here's the process, guys. This goes for Kyle, David, John, and everybody in the audience. If you guys want to get these actors to your conventions, the best thing you can do is get a group of your friends together, contact the promoters of the convention, be respectful, be polite, send them the links to Japan Legends Facebook page that has all of our clients on there. The more you guys help to get us into these conventions, that's how we can get to the conventions on the West Coast, the middle of the country. You know, I mean, we'll go wherever we can. But we need people to call the different conventions and be like, hey, we really want these people at our convention. You guys need to supply them for us.
Got it. Thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, it's like a grassroots organization type of thing.
Yeah,
well, we'll get on that. We'll get on that.
We've reached out to many conventions, but without the fans backing us up, calling, write an email, tag a post on Facebook, Instagram, pick a social media account or whatever, and that's how we can get this done. We got to get the teamwork back together. That's how we get into the conventions, and that's how we can bring them to you guys.
Excellent. Thank you. Perfect.
Excellent. Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you, Jessica.
So, wow, that means it's now time for me to hop in front of that speeding Shinkansen and tell you guys all about the cool.
Nice.
Tell you guys about a really, really killer art gallery showing that's happening in Japan. You know me, I love stuff that goes on in Japan. I wish I was able to step through, like literally open the door to this glass case and just Narnia my way over there.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
right? So
Absolutely.
we got a bunch of people here who have been to Japan. Whoa, that didn't work. Hang on a second. All right, who here has been, hands up, right? Who here has been to Ginza in Tokyo, right? Ginza. What can you do in Ginza?
Shop.
Is this actually going to work? That's right. Ginza's a shopping district.
Shopping, high-end shopping district.
And
High-end.
if you're familiar with Ginza, that's where the Wako Tower is. Of course, Godzilla famously destroyed it in 1954. What else is in Ginza? There's the Hibiya Square. Jessica, you remember when we went and checked this handsome lad out? But oh no, he's not there anymore. That's right. They've moved him to a theater, and now it's a Shin Godzilla statue.
I am so glad, Kyle, that we took the time that day to go, because if not, I would have never been able to have experienced the original statue in that spot.
That
Wow.
original
Cool
statue's
statue. And it
great.
was just me and Jessica. We were like, hey, let's go early and do this. And nobody else wanted to go with us. Anyway.
Oh, wow.
So moving on, there's another thing you can do in Ginza, which, man, unfortunately, this is not really, my screen share failed me a little bit. So I'm going to have to just do things individually, which is totally fine. It's cool. There's a gallery in Ginza, and it is called the Shina Gallery. Now, this is a gallery that works with all sorts of different artists, all sorts of different mediums. Here's the front of the gallery right there. But what's most impressive to me is they have a brand new exhibit, and that exhibit is not exhibit. Exhibit's an overstatement, right? Because this is a gallery. This is a place to see art. And what they have at this gallery, in addition to seeing art, you can also buy toys. Hey, it's related to our show.
Right.
They have a project called the Kaiju-Ween. And if I'm going to just go ahead and say, if you're not familiar with this,
Wow.
I've talked about yokai so
That
many
looks
times. If you
fantastic.
guys recall me talking about it in this manner, basically there are big, long scrolls called the Hyaki Yagyo, and they're this Imaki style painted, and they're long. They basically have a parade of demons that goes from left to right, usually sort of walking into the sunset or the sunrise, excuse me, because they're, they come out at midnight. Anyway, this gallery show has hired, I guess, this artist named, man, this is crazy. I have to just do individual screens. Man, I should have practiced this beforehand. An artist named Taimura Noriaki, who is painting this entire thing. He has painted a 10-meter scroll, and the premise of this whole thing is, what if kaiju appeared 500 years ago, and the only way to document them was with an Imaki scroll?
Man, right up my alley. Right up my alley.
So while I talk, actually, you know what? Let's share the video file, and I'll just talk over the video file, and then we'll see. It's not from YouTube, so hopefully that means we won't get tagged by anything. But basically, what's happening here in this exhibit is this guy has taken traditional elements, local elements, and just sort of created his own tools, his own paint, his own ink, and he has gone through. Oh, Alex asking what's the artist's name again. Alex, it is. Hit me up later, but it's I just said it's Tanimura Noriaki. See, I said it wrong the first time anyway. So thank you, Alex. Tanimura Noriaki, and that's him right there.
Wow.
And he basically painted this entire scroll set to be like a Hyaki Yagyo, like a yokai scroll. and I am absolutely in love with it. Thank you,
Me
John
too.
Ruffin, for actually sending me this incredible gallery. So I'm going to stop playing the video because we don't need to just watch
It's absolutely
somebody else's video the whole
amazing.
time.
Yeah,
But as, you know, I really love Japanese culture, and I really love yokai, and I really love this stuff. And like, so
Oh
here's,
gosh,
these are the
Wow.
Ultra
So
Q guys,
good.
right? So here's
Yeah.
Mess and
Yeah.
That's
Vitra.
amazing.
This
Goro?
is
Wow.
That's
it's
Goro,
either
right?
Goro or it's M1. I'm not exactly sure. There's Namegon,
Namagon?
Mammoth Flower,
Wow.
Pagila down below. Up top is
Whoa.
the turtle, sorry, from Grow Turtle, and the dragon from Grow Turtle. That is
I forget that
the
monster's
one
name.
who's on Fuji, whose name I'm forgetting.
Me too.
There's the
Baron
the
Spider.
Baron Spider up top, but down below that's the mole that comes out of the ground.
Oh, yeah.
And then that I think might be M1.
That's M1,
could
yeah.
be
Wow.
M1. Anyway, there's the Bolunga and Kanegon and
Ah,
Garamon.
so great.
Okay, so this is a huge long scroll, and so they're only showing
look at
off
that.
10 meters at a time.
Wow.
Mustang.
So you have to go back 4 times to the gallery to see the entire thing.
I
right?
would be there 4
Yes.
times 4 times. I love everything that you just showed. That is absolutely fantastic.
Incredible.
Awesome.
Just-
it doesn't end there. my
They-
friends.
There's more.
But wait, there's more.
He's not like somebody I know personally, but my Facebook friend Hiroshi Fujita, to give him credit, posted a gallery. He went to an early. It's open now, is what I should have said earlier. This opened yesterday in Japan, and it goes for about a month. Anyway, he went and he took a whole bunch of pictures, just showing off some stuff they have around. And I wanted to specifically talk about the Bullmark figures that are getting sold, which every one of these has like a cool name, like Fresh Bamboo and stuff like that. These are the Max Toy figures.
Yeah, those are Mark
These are
Nagatas, yeah.
Sun Guts.
Wow.
And check out those amazing header cards.
Yeah,
so
right?
now this makes me upset that I can't go and get one of these,
Collectibles.
right?
Amazing.
In addition to working with the toy creators, they also have ceramic artists who work with
Oh
the
my
gallery
gosh.
overall.
They're beautiful.
And they asked,
I want
if
those.
I correctly am reading
They're
this,
gorgeous.
they asked some of those artists to create Ultraman-based ceramics. And so
They're
here's an
unbelievable.
Ultraman and a
There's
Zeton. This
Zeton.
gorgeous
Oh,
Dada piece.
Oh, that's
I mean, the
gorgeous.
price
Okay,
tag is
well-
right there. That's $770. So
That
Sold.
one's
it's not
perfect.
cheap.
I want it.
But they're
It's
beautiful.
I'd
want
take it.
now. I'll take it.
There's the Ultra Q swirl down there. Yeah,
Wow.
gorgeous stuff. So anyway, I'm not
Yes.
going to go into it any further because I think I've already spent enough time talking about it. But there you go, the Sheena
Terrific.
Ginza Gallery from the 15th of October,
Wow.
happening now through November 14th. If you are in Japan, definitely go try and check this out.
Yes,
And if you go check it out, maybe message me ahead of time and ask, tell me what they have available for figures, because I'd PayPal you. Just saying.
Yeah, he would. He would. Now, wouldn't it be great if they sell a book with those images in it?
Oh,
I
it'd be wonderful.
I would be all
Absolutely.
over that.
You can
I'm
unfurl
very
it.
glad you asked that, David,
Yep.
because they don't sell a book, but what they do sell is a set of postcards. So
Oh,
a set of postcards that would essentially give you the entire piece. But
I want it.
imagine if I think it's like,
a scroll.
I think it's 40 meters or even longer.
Whoa.
So that's a big
Piece them together and just put them in a frame.
just wrap wallpaper.
Yeah,
around them,
right?
Right.
Hey, wallpaper. That'd be beautiful.
Now,
Amazing.
real quick, a short story that I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you. John, and we were talking about this, John and Kyle specifically, and I was in on the conversation, but obviously my mind was elsewhere, and I didn't realize that was going to be Kyle's news story. So I posted a preview, not knowing it would be a preview, last night in our Facebook group, because I was so mesmerized and enamored by these images. And then I tagged Kyle like an idiot. It's like, no, hey, that's the news story that I'm doing, and you knew that. I'm like, But anyway, my enthusiasm just came through and overtook my mind for a moment. So I had to post it. And man, they are absolutely stunning. And I can't tell you how excited I would be. I know a lot of us here to actually see that in person. And anybody who's in Japan, all of our friends who are in Japan, maybe like Ed Holland or Jeremy, go see that. Take some more photos if you can. And Kyle will PayPal you, and I will PayPal you for some postcards and Jamie, whoever.
Few more, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to
cups.
throw that in there because I just love this story so much.
It's so cool. It looks like it's going to be such an amazing thing to see in person, and I would absolutely go back every week to see.
Me too.
The new unveiling. So here's, they also have a T-shirt.
Oh, nice.
Oh. Yes,
they
please.
Also, I like the Science Patrol logo on the sleeve. That's awesome.
They there they are.
There they are.
The greatest T-shirts.
So this is the postcard set. There you go.
Man.
10-piece
set.
Yeah,
I want that.
Aren't these awesome?
I want that too.
Amazing.
I want that.
Well, you might be able to. There's kind of a small gallery, so you might be able to actually arrange something with them. I can't say. If you really wanted to drop the coin on something, I would suggest reaching out to them. There will be a link in the show notes
is fantastic.
to an article about that. I think I'm not exactly sure. There haven't been any articles in English about it, so everything that I've gleaned from it was just from like Google Translates and stuff like that. So there you have it. There's my news segment.
Bravo!
And man, that was some good stuff.
Yes, it was.
Okay,
exciting.
I just before we get going, let me just quickly shout out to some people who just recently popped in. Recently, I don't know, maybe since I did the last chat room check-in. Sam, what's up? Greg Fountain, how are you doing, man? Glad to have you here. I saw somebody else.
Alex Sawyer.
Is here. Alex
Robert.
Sawyer.
Hi, Robert.
Lolo.
I think AJ Russo's here.
Alex.
Here.
Yeah, I think I saw Russo around earlier, and then Lolo.
Dylan Young.
Too. There's Kaiju Live. Yep.
Kaiju Live.
Oh, so I said hi to Christopher already. That's cool. Yeah. We're good. Anyway, if I missed anybody, hey, sorry about that. We are here broadcasting live. Thank you to all 31 people watching us on YouTube and Facebook. And this is actually the opportunity for us to play an intermission because we're about halfway through the show. Perfect timing, everybody. And we're going to come back in just a couple of minutes with our Kaiju Frights segment where we show off some cool stuff regarding some of our favorite horrific Japanese tokusatsu moments. But until then, we're going to have probably about a 2-minute break, and we'll see you then when we're back.
Universal Studio Japan No Limit Halloween
SF アドベンチャーヤマトタケル映画の迫力をリアルな造形で完全再現万歳ヤマトタケルシリーズ
あれはカブトだいやセミだちゃうぞカブトゼミだワンちゃんいやワンガルペリカンいやペリギンかっこいいんだから高徳トイスの頂きメカ新発売
史上最強パワー炸裂ミニミニマンのお部屋探しもパワー全開
ミニミニあなたのお城はミニミニで
福井はいいわね
のんびりできます
ご苦労様今の
まさかウルトラマンだ
郵便配ってるんだ
こんなところに
頑張ってるわよ若いのに地球守って郵便配って偉いわね
お待て
ちょっと追いつかないわよ早いから
無理しないで早いなあいつ
いい年なんだから
飛べばいいじゃないか。
ポケットにウルトラ Wi-Fi ソフトバンク。
Hey, and we are back with our Halloween. Wait, what is it? KaijuWeen Spooktacular. I brought my buddy back to hang out with me for this next segment. So we are going to be talking about some of our favorite scary moments from the kaiju genre, and so putting us back in the original order I had us. We're going to kick things off with going to Mr. David Dopko, and for this segment, I just want everybody to know. Oh, wait. You know what? Hang on a second. Just choto the mates for a second. I forgot that even though my buddy here hyped up the giveaway, after the segment, we are going to be giving away this amazing King Joe figure from Maru-san.
Yes.
So what we'll be doing is this segment, followed by our monster showcase, and right before the monster showcase, I'll announce the hashtag code to put into the comments. We'll explain it when it comes down to it later. But
excellent.
I wanted to make sure to hype that. Hype.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You know, Carl, you're looking like Dr. Shock.
Yes, I think the same. I was thinking the same thing. And your intro to the show was very Svengoolie. Actually, it was better production value than Svengoolie. So bravo
It was
to
amazing.
that. It was amazing. I liked it.
I have to give major props to my wife for coming up with the idea of using the skeleton instead of.
It's excellent. Excellent.
I love that lady. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to be giving that away after this segment. But yeah, we wanted to basically celebrate the spooky season, celebrate Halloween, and talk about some of our favorite scary moments. We sort of touched on some of these, not these exact things last year, but you know what? I'm such a fan of Halloween. We're just going to make it an annual thing. The Spooktacular is going to happen every year.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
All right, so David Dopko, we're going to kick it over to you first, so you can tell us a little bit about your. What did I say there? Your Kaiju Frights.
So what you can do, Kyle, I just have one collage that I sent to you, and you can just put that up and leave it up while I'm talking, so we can sort of, make reference to it or whatever, because you don't need to see me. You can see me in the little square anyway. But anyway, the film and scary film that I chose, perfect for Halloween, is Frankenstein versus Baragon, a.k.a. Frankenstein Conquers the World. Now, there's so many scary movies to choose from that it was very difficult for me to choose. Matango, I just recommended to Jonathan that he watch a movie called The Manster. It's not Toho, but it's a Japanese-American horror movie that I do want to talk about. Maybe I'll do that one next year. But I got to say, when I was a little kid, I was always afraid of giants, okay? And basically, Frankenstein is a giant, literally a giant. And it's a very interesting, intricate story that blends some things that happened in real life with, so many fantasy elements. And it takes a very established, horror iconic character, Frankenstein, and moves him over to Japan so they can do their take on it. So without further ado, I'll just talk about the film a little bit. It was released in 1965. And I consider that, many people consider that Toho's golden era. And it was directed, of course, by Ishiro Honda, special effects by Tsuburaya, music by Ifukube, one of my favorite Toho scores of all time. It's phenomenal. It's haunting. It's great. I love it. Produced by Tomoyuki Tanaka. And that's the dream team, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to these films. And they hit a home run with this movie, as you will hear, and I describe it. So the cast had a great cast. Dr. Bowen was of course Nick Adams, who had filmed Monster Zero either at the same time. I'm not sure it was before or after. I think it was right before this. But he played the main character of Dr. Bowen, an American scientist who goes over to Japan to help cure the cancer caused by the radiation from the bomb dropped on Hiroshima, which is kind of a real thing that did actually happen. Sueko Togami, another doctor, is played by Kumi Mizuno, another fan favorite who's fantastic in the role. Dr. Kawaji is Tado Takashima, I think I pronounced his name wrong, who, was actually in King Kong versus Godzilla and Son of Godzilla. Great character actor. Mr. Kawai is one of the first characters that we see, is played by Yoshio Tsuchiya. And finally, the military doctor, who is only in it for a brief time, but he's a veteran Toho star and Akira Kurosawa's favorite, Takashimi Shimizu. And he is only in it for a very short time. And I think it's kind of a wasted, he's wasted in that film. He should have been in it a lot more. But anyway, and then Frankenstein himself is played by Koji Furuhata, who has just recently passed away. And I don't think he did too much more for Toho other than that, but don't quote me on that. And I know there was an issue with his, that he did not want to license his likeness to have figures made until after he passed away. So that's why all of a sudden we got to see some Frankenstein images come out of the Toho Frankenstein. So this movie has its origins way back when Willis O'Brien wanted to do another King Kong movie called King Kong versus Prometheus, where King Kong went to Africa to fight a monster created by a scientist who sewed together African animals. And then, of course, we know what happened with King Kong versus Godzilla. And then eventually Frankenstein did make it to Japan, and they made this film. And instead of Godzilla, he fought a monster called Baragon, a subterranean monster. And I'm just going to really briefly talk about the plot synopsis. So Frankenstein's heart is in this laboratory in Germany. And the Japanese military sends it. Actually, the Germans send it to Japan. They transfer it in via submarines to Hiroshima, where they want to experiment on it so they can sort of, help soldiers who were shot and grow limbs back, et cetera, et cetera. And then all of a sudden, a strange boy appears in the city of Hiroshima, and they call him a waif in the Japanese movie, and he's just, eating people's dogs and killing bunnies and things like that. And finally, he makes his way, paths cross with the heroes of the show, and they capture him and they bring him to the hospital, and they're studying him. And all of a sudden, he just starts to grow. He's growing. And then he bonds with Dr. Togami Sueko. They have like a special bond. But he keeps growing so big. And then finally, Dr. Kawaji decides to go to Frankfurt and talk to the original German scientist, Dr. Reisendorf, his name is. And he's like, there's only one way to find out if it's a Frankenstein monster, is to cut off an arm or a leg. And he goes back to do that very thing. And in that same night, Frankenstein escapes. He pulls his hand off because the chain is too large. The hand remains animated, so yes, it is Frankenstein. Let's see where we go here. The monster escapes and runs amok in Hiroshima, and then he escapes to the higher elevations where it's more comfortable for him, as they say in the film. And then simultaneously, strange things also start to happen. Baragon emerges and starts to kill people and destroy villages and farms. It's very stealthy. No one ever sees the monster because it only comes out at night and when it's foggy. Frankenstein is blamed for all of this destruction. But finally, Mr. Kawai comes to the rescue, who says, hey, I think there's another monster around because I saw something during this earthquake, blah, blah, blah. But then they said, okay, we're running out of money. We're going to do one final search for him. And they go up into the mountains. Baragon appears, threatens our heroes. Frankenstein saves Sueko and Dr. Kawaji. And then this big battle happens between Frankenstein and Baragon. And we know Frankenstein ultimately defeats Baragon, who is played by Haruo Nakajima. Of course, one of his more athletic roles. He's tumbling all over the place. It's a real great battle for those of you who have seen it. And as we know, Frankenstein, in the end, is victorious. and it depends on what version you watch. In the American version, he kind of just defeats Baragon in an earthquake. He falls into the earth and is destroyed, supposedly destroyed. But Henry G. Saperstein wanted to have more kaiju action, more battles. So they introduced a giant octopus who just sort of appears out of nowhere right after Baragon is vanquished. So there's that cool battle. And instead of falling into the earth, Frankenstein is pulled into the sea, into the ocean or the water by the octopus, which is perfect segue for War of the Gargantuas, because supposedly Gyra and Sanda were both from cells of Frankenstein, and the ones that grew in the sea turned into Gyra, and he fought that same octopus and defeated him the second time. So now Saperstein wanted to cut the film differently. Not only the octopus scene, he wanted to make it look like Frankenstein was more vicious and more of a monster. And in the Japanese version, he's more of a sympathetic character. But it's just interesting to see that the way that they cut the scenes, there's a little bit of difference there. But yeah, it is one of my favorite films, and it spawned the sequel, War of the Gargantuas, and they are referred to as Frankenstein's monsters, Sanda and Gyra, in the Japanese version. And I just think that the story is phenomenal. It's imaginative. It's scary. It scared me as a kid, especially the scene that you can see up top where he's looking into Sueko's window. And that just really freaked me out when I was a kid for some reason. But yeah, Japanese version is way better, hands down. I agree, Eric. But one thing that I do want to say is I wish that in War of the Gargantuas, I think I was talking about this with John Ruffin, that what they did was to keep, instead of Russ Tamblyn, keep Nick Adams as the same character and continue on. And Sueko plays herself instead of the new character, Akemi, and just go from there. And then they can have a bunch of, they could have maybe Dr. Kawaji die from his wounds or something, but keep the continuity, because the combination of Nick Adams and Kumi Mizuno is golden. And we all know that from the two movies that they were in together. So, yeah, I'm rambling on and on and on. And before I get to my question, I am going to show you some really cool collectibles. So
for the rest of everybody, we're going to ask the question first of the audience.
Oh,
and then,
well, I can ask. I can ask.
Yeah, ask it now. Yeah, ask the question now.
Okay,
yeah.
we'll put you aside now. So my question to the audience and to our members and to our co-hosts is, where in your ranking of all of the non-Godzilla science fiction, Toho science fiction films, does Frankenstein versus Baragon fall for you? Kyle, will you want to start that?
Oh, pretty low, unfortunately. I didn't see this movie until I was an adult, and I like it very much, but it's probably in the grand pantheon of kaiju movies. It's probably about right in the middle.
Okay.
I never really liked the Frankenstein design, similar to how I never really liked the Kong design from Toho. But I look at them today and I'm like, I see where they were going with it, and I understand what they were going for. It's not for me necessarily. So next.
Fair enough. John, how about you?
I think that both are genius, and really they really do speak to the creativity of Toho, and obviously in in the 60s. I would rank them probably between 10 and 15, in my top 20 of
nice
Toho films. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, number 2, Sam. Wow.
Oh,
number 2. Wow. Edwin. Wow. Jonathan, what about you? Alex, low for you. Come on now. Top 3 or 4.
Genius.
Jonathan, what about you?
Oh, Jonathan, you've muted yourself.
Oh, he muted himself.
I have muted myself. Yes. Sorry about that. I do have, if this were just non-Godzilla films, I would say it's definitely in my top 5, because I wouldn't necessarily rank it, because I flip between them, but it's definitely top 5. I saw this movie on Halloween. They had, AMC had a Halloween fest, and this movie premiered on there. The dub, obviously. I saw this back in '99. I was sick for the week. I was home. It popped on. It was on the TV guide. I was like, Frankenstein Conquers the World. I've never seen this. It was a joy to watch. I fell instantly in love with it. I love the tone. I love the music. I love the acting. I love everything about this movie. Music especially is really good. But yeah, I'd say definitely in the top 5 range.
Excellent. Jessica, how about you? Where does it fall for you?
So for non-Godzilla films, it's probably in my top 10, actually. The action, the storyline, for me, it's got it all. I mean, it's a really good and well executed film.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And just the storytelling, like John was saying, and the imagination to come up with this concoction of stuff, it's just incredible. And one more thing I did want to add real quick, if I may. There's 2 theories about how Frankenstein came to be. One of them is when the bomb dropped on Hiroshima in the hospital, that the heart actually grew cells from itself to create the Frankenstein monster. And the other theory is during the time after the bomb, a starving orphan child, a young child, ate the heart. And then he sort of transformed and he sort of grew into Frankenstein. I kind of think the second one is a little bit more horrific and a little bit more macabre because it's you know, after the bomb was dropped, everybody was desperate and they were starving. They had nothing to eat. I mean, you watch Grave of the Fireflies, you'll see what we're talking about.
So I've actually heard, I'm sorry to cut you off.
That's okay.
I actually heard the second one was more towards what they were actually meaning for the origins or basically how he got his start or whatever.
It's weird because the Japanese version is different because in the American version they make reference to he looks Caucasian, and to me he doesn't look Caucasian. He looks like a Japanese like a Japanese features to me. So that would make more sense that instead of if it was truly Frankenstein, I don't know, who knows, but either way, either scenario is really interesting and creepy, and it incorporates, you know, history, you know, a horrific thing that happened with a film. And there's a scene that it's really always really sad to me is when Tetsuko Toi, one of the patients, knows she's dying and she finishes up the embroidery for Nick Adams' character, and it's just really sad because they, you know, it's a real thing that happened to people were suffering for so long after that they dropped that bomb. And a scene that was cut from the American version is when Dr. Bowen, Nick Adams, and Kumi Mizuno's character, Sueko, they actually go to Miyajima Island, which I actually went to because it's right off of Hiroshima, to pray, to visit her grave. She was buried over there. So that's a really cool scene that was cut in the American version altogether because it was on Miyajima Island, which is really cool. So, all right, I talked enough. Let's look at some toys, and then we'll move on to the next person. So, sorry, I get on these rampages and I keep going, but this is a cool M1 reproduction of the Bullmark / Marathon Baragon. Really fun, kind of metallic-y blue colors. This is
iconic Kaiju Sofubi design.
Iconic Sofubi design, yes, sir. Just like a little puppy, just like, you know, Luminous's new puppy. This is like a little puppy. And another M1 classic is the M1 Frankenstein. I love that they gave him sandals. He didn't have sandals in the film, but in the production stills, he did have sandals on. So I guess they took this inspiration from one of the production stills. So I love it. It's great. It really resembles this one was actually one of the few Frankenstein figures that came out before the actor passed away. So this was, you know, a pretty special thing. This is one of the very first ones. Marmot did one too, which is good, but I think I like this one just a little bit better. Bandai Premium nailed it.
Oh wow!
Absolutely nailed it. I did a little bit of paint touch up on him, as you can probably see. But
absolutely,
the pose is dynamic and he's movable. Mm-hmm. He just doesn't stand up right, so I put him on a little X Plus base. Thank you, X Plus.
Great idea. Yeah.
And he just stands there. And they also did a Baragon companion to go with, which is a great figure. I mean, these are really well done. A little bit pricey for Bandai figures, but worth every penny as far as I'm concerned. And then
the premium, you'll say.
Premium, yes. And then X Plus, of course, did their version of Frankenstein, which is really spot on. This is like straight out of the scene where he comes out of the woods and he drops. He places Dr. Kawaji at the foot of the car. So after he saves him from Baragon. So great figure, super realistic looking. And then what else do I have? Oh, I've got this actually came with the Baragon Frankenstein.
Oh, nice.
Oh, the
severed animated hand. It's a good way to. And then of course we've got. Oh, wait a minute. No, sorry, that's not right. Baragon bad.
Hey, it works.
I did a fun mashup of What If Frankenstein versus Baragon, just because I'm a goof and wanted to have some fun. And then last but not least, a really cool glow-in-the-dark model kit. I don't know if you can see with the glare, produced by our friends at X Plus.
Amazing.
Really great. Definitely to put this together. It's a glow-in-the-dark one. I think Vincent Perez is selling one if anybody's interested in getting this thing. So look him up. He's in our group. Very rare, very hard to find, very limited. So I think I've said quite enough. So thank you for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I'll read everybody's responses to what they said later on. And I'm going to pass it down to my buddy John Ruffin in Philadelphia.
Thanks, David. So I'll tell you, growing up, there were 3 shows that I grew up on. And David as well, I'm pretty sure can chime in. And so before I get into my Kaiju Spooktacular, however you want to put it. So we had a children's program called the Wee Willie Weber Show. And I was introduced to Japanese live action tokusatsu anime through his program. And the 3 heroes, my 3 heroes, and Godzilla was my Saturday hero, Ultraman, Space Giants, aka Magma Taishi, and Johnny Sacco and his flying robot, aka also known as Giant Robo. Now I'm not doing a movie. I'm doing one of those a series because every episode was quite intense. And my question is, of those 3, if you saw them, the original Ultraman, Space Giants, and Johnny Sacco and his flying robot, which, in your opinion, fought the most scariest monsters or kaiju, however you want to refer to them? Which series had the scariest? Well, I already gave away my answer. My brother made me this great shirt today, U7.
That's fantastic.
So
nice.
So what I want to talk to you about is just those kaiju that scared the life out of me and still do to this day. There was something about Giant Robo. It was something about the way it was filmed. It was something about the way they created the suits. The other thing, and then the villains were just.
Oh yeah.
So it was a combination of all of them. I mean, like, unlike Ultraman and unlike the Space Giants, they scare me to this day. Kyle, I have 7 of them that was a little bit more than 7, but 7 photos. My notes here. So here's the first. And come on, a giant eyeball would freak anybody out like that. So this is obviously Giant Robo, along with Opticon. So terrifying, and just to see that eye, opening and closing, and kind of crazy light. Giant Robo was a fascinating show, and I'm going to make a comment about it because they were my 3 heroes, and Giant Robo was always the 3rd. But now something has changed after I started watching. Yeah, it changed after watching a lot of the shows this week. Second, here's one. I love this one, but terrifying. And the sound that the monsters made were just hideous.
Yes, they were.
Something about
they were.
Johnny Sacco, they would just repeat the sound. Even the opening theme has a certain, just beat to it and repetition. But this next one, I'm not going to make the kaiju sound, but the roar, but it's creepy. Kyle, you have number 2. This is the gargoyle vine.
Oh, the gargoyle vine.
Satan Rose.
I remember that one.
I mean, he's all over
Weird.
the place. Yes, terrifying. And just to see giant robot going up against, it's like, what in the world? Just creepy. The next one.
The sound was creepy. You're
yeah,
right.
the sound.
Oh, there he is.
Here we
Dr.
have
Botanist.
Dr. Botanist and Vanguard. Now, come on. This is almost every episode. You got to deal with
Wait,
these
that's
two.
not Vanguard. That's Dengar.
No.
That's Dengar, the
Yes.
executioner.
Yes.
You'll know Vanguard when you see him.
Yes. Yes. And he has the big snake.
That's right.
Across,
That's right.
across his body. I wish I had included that. These, come on. This is terrifying. Next. That should be the space mummy.
Oh man, that scared the shit out
Every day.
Scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. Wow.
Oh, these are good. Okay, number 5.
His voice. Oof.
Yes, his voice.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
What was his
Metron,
name?
is it? Is it Metron?
Metron. That's Metron.
I mean,
Yeah, weird.
Really original villains in Kaiju as well. The next one, this is the one that this episode. It gets me every time. I watched it again today. This is
Dr.
Ngali. Yes, and the fake Johnny Sacco. I tell you, this one freaks me out.
I love
and
how
lastly,
the fake Johnny Sacco has to have like big, thick eyebrows.
Yes, he
to-
does.
Yes,
Yes, he does.
I meant to mention. I mean, just you gotta love it. You just.
They're
I
on
still want that toy. I still want that. That he put them together. He thought his dad had sent him, a gift while he was away for his birthday, and it turns out to be obviously a trick. Okay, and my last one is obviously the leader of them all, Emperor Guillotine. Just creepy, just terrifying. I mean, and then the last episode, there's and my discussions, but what I found my love for Giant Robo, and I used to rank him 3rd out of my favorite 3. Ultraman used to be 2nd, and Magma Taishi Goldar used to be 1st. Goldar was never defeated. Ultraman he did, and then Giant Robo was just too much for me to take that last episode. But then it told me today, actually, Giant Robo, Johnny Sacco's flying robot, actually has the greatest weapon of all. Ultraman can't even match him. Magma Taishi can't even match him. It's the power of sacrifice. By sacrificing himself. That's the greatest weapon. Nobody can match that. And so he's number 1 in my book again. Now let me show you some of I have tons of Giant Robo stuff, but I couldn't find all my vinyls I wanted to show today, and I apologize. I looked for one of my big Giant Robos. I'll show you that. I'll wait to show that one. I have a ton of these figures. GR2, classic. I didn't even bring show my small figures. I got my little Emperor Guillotine, Giant Claw,
Gengar.
Gengar, Cleopatra.
Cleopatra. Or Calamity in Japan. They call him Calamity.
Yeah, Calamity. That's right, Calamity.
Yep.
And
Draculon.
Draculon, yeah. There we go.
I love Draculon. I want a big one.
Yes. And it was something so realistic about their battle, the way they shot it in that first episode. There were certain angles. There's some really beautiful, I think, cinematography in Giant Robo. And some nice matting. But Giant Robo all the way now. And terrifying, but great. Jonathan?
Well, Kyle, we got to say who we think is the scariest, right?
Oh, yes, your turn. Okay, now.
The scariest kaiju or the scariest villains. Actually, you didn't mention Spectre Man. You said Space Giants, so I'm going to go with Space Giants because those were the 2 that I grew up with, Space Giants and Spectre Man. Both had scary monsters in it, but out of the ones you mentioned, I think that Space Giants had the stranger ones. But I've also never seen Johnny Sacco.
We need to remedy that.
I tell you, Rodak was just, he was terrifying.
It was that perm.
Yes, it was.
And his awesome voice.
Rodak had a perm. No.
Yeah.
So I gotta go with for monsters. I gotta go with Ultraman, like giant monsters, kaiju. Coronia was terrifying, you know, whatever. But for villains, like henchmen and villains, which Ultraman didn't really have henchmen and villains. The Gargoyle Gang villains, Guillotine would always choose a new crazy, messed up villain. I gotta agree with you. Those villains. I mean, the terrifying space mummy was just terrifying, and he not only poisoned the entire reservoir of Tokyo, turned everybody into mummies. Thankfully, they could reverse it. I don't know how they did it, but they reversed it at the end because it's TV. He also kidnapped and turned the nuns at a convent into mummies, and he threw them down in the dungeon. It's like, damn! It's like The Sound of Music gone nuts. You know, it's insane. And the space mummy's voice, he kind of talked like this. I'm going to turn you all into mummies. You know, and the way they spoke, and in the English version, that's why I was telling John I want to see the Japanese versions, how the actors actually sounded, because you know, they were all super creepy, and you know, Guillotine was just badass. He just kept sending them down, and when he got tired of the henchmen, you know, Dr. Botanist was in several episodes, and then finally he failed him for the last time, and he pulled the Emperor Palpatine, went right through the screen. Just boom, done.
He was vicious.
And anyway, so long story short, Ultraman has the best giant kaiju, Daikaiju, but the villains, I got to give it to Johnny Sacco. Yes,
second
Jonathan.
Well, I guess I'm in Kyle's camp. I haven't seen Johnny Sacco, but which I have to change that.
Yep, definitely.
But I've got to go with Ultraman. I'm more familiar with Ultraman, and I grew up with it. I know this one isn't one that you mentioned, John, but I also throw in. I had to say Ultra 7 really creeped me out. Like the whole thing. We're not talking about just the kaiju, the aliens. Everything's mostly shot in shadow half the time. The mood, the music, everything about it. Just like when I was a kid watching that, especially early in the morning, like 5 a.m. when it was on, where I grew up, it was still dark out. I was sitting there kind of like, oh, some of these episodes are like really getting me. But definitely Ultraman, I think.
Yeah, I can take that. Yep. How about you, Jessica?
So yeah, I've got to agree. I haven't seen all of the Johnny Sacco, so I've got to go with Ultraman. Just some of the kaiju or Daikaiju, even though they're henchmen villains, and it's like it's a must. You got to go with them.
Can't lose on it.
Now, I will say, you know, what's interesting about those three that I mentioned. I mean, I learned good and evil watching them. I mean, I was so young, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and of the three, Giant Robo had the short. It was only 26 episodes. You know, Space Giant's 52 episodes, Ultraman 39, 40, and so it had and John Robo had probably the biggest impact in just how it ended. I mean, and it was brutal. I mean, folk died in every episode. I mean, we're carrying machine guns, mowing folk down. I mean, it's just
dude, actually, that's the funniest thing about Giant Robo to me, is that little kid Johnny is carrying around a submachine gun. Like,
yep.
And he's like 10 or something, right?
Yep.
He adult situations. He had to grow up quickly. You know, he had that great responsibility. You know, but Spooky, I'm still afraid of them to this day.
I got to revisit
and David,
them.
Thank you, because you sparked my mind. You know, when you mentioned.
Oh, of course, because it scared me too. We're separated at birth, man. That Channel 17 stuff. But you know, I'm like Kyle with my what do you call it? Space Giants. I only saw it I never saw it more than one time, and I don't think I even saw every episode, so I have to revisit those because I don't remember a lot of them, and I really need to do that. But Giant Robot was always like just a close second behind Ultraman. Ultraman was always first because that was my first, and both of my brothers liked Johnny Sacco better than Ultraman, so we'd fight about which one was better, of course. But you know how that goes.
Quality wise, Ultraman wins out. Quality wise, Ultraman.
Right. Right.
But yet intensity. I mean, the intensity of Giant Robo is on a different level. It's kind of crazy.
You're right.
I gotta see it.
Voyage into Space. That's like the condensed version film.
Yep, the condensed version. Yes.
Yep. Thank you.
On Blu-ray. Oh, I'd like to see that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
That'd be great to see. Because I remember seeing that. I think they showed it one time in school. On the reel. When I was growing up. I mean, it's
interesting.
The way I would see that, and then I saw it once on television. But So
outstanding.
Yeah. Thank you, Jonathan. I think you're up after you. Thank you.
Me? Okay.
Yes.
Well, okay, so I decided to do, I wouldn't say lesser known, but maybe to some people, this film is definitely more in the category of like noir gangster film and sci-fi horror. So I decided to go with 1958's The H-Man. And so here, directed by Ashiro Honda, screenplay by Takeshi Kimura and Hideo Unagami, did the story. Produced by Tomiyuki Tanaka, music by Masaru Sato, and special effects by the great Eiji Tsuburaya. Now, here's my question to go along with that whole thing. So Masaru Sato did the score for this movie. What is your favorite Masaru Sato score within the Tokusatsu Toho verse realm? It could be kaiju, it could be a movie like this,
Excellent.
If it were me, and I was talking to Kyle and you guys about this earlier, if it was non-kaiju, any of that, I would have to go with Yojimbo, but that's not a choice for me. So I think it's a toss-up between Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla and Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. Those two it's hard to beat, in my opinion. Son of Godzilla has a great main theme that just has that main title, just get you going. But yeah, those two definitely. What about you, Kyle?
I'm with you.
Oh, favorite Masaru Sato? Well, I mean, yes, also Yojimbo. That is the best Sato score that I've heard. But damn, I haven't heard almost any of his scores. I've only heard his stuff from the Kaiju entries. And that, I think, includes some non-Godzilla stuff. But yeah, mostly it's just Kurosawa films and Kaiju stuff. So it had to be, if it has to be Kaiju, I'd probably say his score for I won't cheat and say Mechagodzilla, because I know John will want to say that. Actually, really, the Godzilla versus the Sea Monster score is like very surfy and very
awesome.
Spy movie-ish. I love that about that movie.
Definitely.
I have to go exactly with Kyle. This Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, Ebirah Horror of the Deep. It's just a fun, exciting, jazzy spy South Sea island. It's got all of that blended into one, and it's got like some real moments of tension, like the piece that accompanies when they're trying to turn off the bomb. That just music is making me sweat. It's like I can feel like my hand like trying to reach for that. So I have to go with Sea Monster, but I really do enjoy Son of Godzilla too. That's a really fun, whimsical, underrated score.
Yes, it is.
Keith does not like that score. He hates Aminya's theme. He thinks it sounds like a circus theme, and he's like, oh God, he is definitely not a fan of that, but I don't
never
care.
thought of it as a circus theme.
He's like, it sounds like a damn circus theme, and I'm like, okay, whatever. But it definitely also has some fun, whimsical South Sea sweeping, jazz. And then actually, it's interesting. There's a music cue that they use in Son of Godzilla that they also reuse in Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, where King Caesar is fighting Mechagodzilla. So that's kind of cool that they recycle that one exciting score. So yeah, it's got to be number 1, Sea Monster, number 2, Son of Godzilla. So how about you, Jonathan Portman? Oh wait, no, that's your question. Sorry, John.
Yeah. John.
Sorry. Gomen nasai.
My turn? Or Jessica?
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking the
you, John.
Oh, I should have done this, I guess. There
Yeah.
Oh,
that's all right.
It's live TV.
For years, my favorite track was was Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. I listened to Godzilla vs. Sea Monster soundtrack almost every day. I mean, I actually listened to the audio of the film, but I could almost hum an entire soundtrack straight through. I love it that much, more so than Mechagodzilla. I love that film. I saw it so many times growing up. It seemed like
me too.
It's like, David, it's that same. They would show it more than seem than anything else.
More than anything else. Yep.
Yeah. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla that's his always high on my list, and it used to be my all-time favorite, but yeah, it's hard to. And then Son of Godzilla, all three are genius. Me, as I get older and mature as a Godzilla fan, certain films I gravitate now. Son of Godzilla, Godzilla's Revenge, Godzilla vs. Sea Monster, and the soundtracks just carry me away back to when I was a child. Me too. To those good memories.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's all about for me. That's a huge component of this collecting. My part in this collecting is the nostalgia factor, for sure.
That's it. How about you, Jessica?
So I have to go with Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. I mean the fight scene battles, and unfortunately when he tears up my boy Angie.
That's pretty terrifying. That was rough.
It was absolutely rough. I mean, my boy had to rest his jaw a little bit after that. The scores are perfect for that. They flow so well.
It's jazzy.
It's jazz. I mean, for every situation in that film, it seems like they just nailed it as far as the music goes, and it's like it's a little upbeat, and it's like doo doo. You know what I mean? And it's just like it's perfect.
Absolutely,
it is. One thing I do want to say real quick is one score that I was disappointed in, and just because of the juxtaposition of the film, is Godzilla Raids Again. Coming off of the original Godzilla, which is a masterpiece, and the score to I have to learn. I'm sorry, Jessica. I have to learn to appreciate it a little more, but that hasn't hit me yet. The somber tone doesn't really fit what's going on screen, and when you're expecting the brilliance of the score from 1954, which I can listen to that every day. That is like to me like high art, that score. And then sorry that he got that job, because it's a really tough act to follow, like right after it. And I was just like, what the heck is going on here? This is not what I'm expecting. I mean, and again, maybe that's because that film is not very high on my list either. It's got good points, but for the most part, it's kind of a snooze fest for me.
I have a theory about that music, actually.
Please. Because
this is Sato's first Godzilla movie, right? Everything from that film, if you listen to it without seeing the movie, it really sounds like someone told him to emulate whatever they were doing with American monster movies at the time.
Yes, exactly. That's a good theory. And it didn't work. For me, that didn't work because it's not an American movie. And usually the American movies that they're trying to emulate are B movies anyway. So I don't want to hear like Kronos in the background, or Killers from Space or whatever.
But in 1955, there weren't any more options. Than
no. But it's unfortunate because, like I said, coming off of the masterpiece that Ifukube scored, the original Godzilla, it's a tough act to follow. And he definitely redeemed himself. I mean, once we get to Godzilla versus Sea Monster, I'm like loving life. I mean, this is great. This is exactly what the music needs to be at this point in the series. And then it was nice to have a break from Akira Ifukube, and then it was great to have him back. So yeah, I don't know what snake means. What does that mean?
It means a snake. Jessica's holding a snake.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, true. I'm like, got it. Sorry. Right on. Okay, cool. But anyway, I just wanted to put that in there because we're talking about Sato. So.
No, it's a great point. I mean, the fact that he kind of found his footing later on. Yes, and it's funny because this is 1958 when the H-Man came out. There's a few tracks in here. There's a couple club scenes that take place within the movie, and the music that he composed for the club scenes is very, big band, kind of jazzy, poppy. And I felt like I was listening to that. I was like, maybe this is where he was like, okay, I'm going to use this launch point. This will be my future Godzilla music. This is what it's going to kind of be like. Or they just told him like, hey, do you did there here? Because these are like different tones we're going for these movies. So I thought that was a little interesting.
Did the words get stuck in his throat?
Probably. I almost covered that movie, actually.
Sorry, bad pun.
That's okay. Someone had to do it, right?
Someone had to say it. Someone had to say it.
Jessica, I mean, unless Jonathan, did you have more? You have more you want to cover, right?
Oh, he's got.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, so I want to do a quick little synopsis here. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because if people want to watch who haven't seen it, go ahead, watch it. If not, you already know what I'm talking about. So, Kyle, I believe there's a picture of it's like a collage that I put together,
right? Of
like a grid of photos. Kind of, we can put that over while I go with the little premise here. So the movie opens up with a nuclear blast that's taking place. You see the huge mushroom cloud, and there's this ominous music, the shrieking strings that's going on, Sato's music.
Jonathan,
and then that
image actually.
Before
we continue.
I think I sent it in the Facebook in the chat.
Okay.
Right
on.
But it's okay. Yes. Okay. So the movie opens up with a mushroom cloud and an atomic explosion, and then it goes to the title cards. We see this ominous kind of dark ocean, and this derelict ship is kind of rocking, and this is happening through the title sequence. You don't really know what that's about yet, but then we cut to present time. A drug smuggler for the Hanada gang, Misaki, played by Hisaya Ito, disappears mysteriously while fleeing a drug deal gone bad, leaving behind only his clothes. His disappearance catches the attention of the police. Inspector Tominagawa, played by Akihiko Harada, and detectives Sakata and Taguchi, played by Yoshifumi Tajima and Yoshio Tsuchiya. Yes. Forgive me if I'm butchering some of these names. They are headed to investigate. This leads them to Mizaki's girlfriend, Chikako, played by Yumi Shirakawa. The beautiful Yumi Shirakawa. Sort of like they reference to her as being sort of the Grace Kelly of Japan that time, she has no idea where Mizaki is. So along the way, Inspector Tominagawa reunites with an old friend of his, an acquaintance by the name of Dr. Masada, played by Kenji Sahara. And Mr. Masada explains this rather bold theory that Mizaki's disappearance could be a possible result of his physical form melting away due to radiation exposure. Quite a lofty, bold theory. The police obviously dismiss it. Like, what are you talking about? That makes no sense. I probably would too, honestly, but not in the Toho-verse. We don't think that way in the Toho-verse. So, so along the way, the police further focus their efforts on finding Mizaki and monitoring the Hanada gang, who they assume is responsible for his disappearance. From here, the blend of noir gangster film / science fiction horror takes the viewer on a steady climb to the truth as the H-Men stalk its next victims along the way. So that's where I'm going to leave the premise, kind of open-ended. This movie I saw when I was pretty young. My uncle showed me a lot of these films. And this was the first non-kaiju movie he showed me. And needless to say, the H-men who are presented in the film's literal translation is Beauty and the Liquid People. So obviously, these are, obviously change the title up a little bit there. I don't know if the Beauty and the Liquid People would have worked, but the H-men are sort of like these green, slimy, liquidy creatures that just float along around. They stick to the walls, or they kind of catch you by surprise, and they jump on you, and they melt you basically into more H-men, or they dissolve your essence essentially. That's pretty awesome. Scary stuff to view when I'm a kid. E.G. Tsuburai's effects. Now I wanted to go over a few of my scary moments. Kyle, should be a few clips, screen grabs I grabbed. The first one is a scene that takes place further along in the film. It's when Dr. Masada tells the police investigator and the detectives, hey, come with me to this hospital if you want further proof. I found witnesses that have seen these melted people in action. And so they go to this hospital. They see these distraught, fishermen that had contact with these H-men. Basically, they go through a story of telling them and showing them in flashback what had happened. And basically, these fishermen, they're floating along, and they see this derelict boat, the one from we see in the title credits, and they decide to board it and see if anybody's there. It seems kind of like no one's around. So they kind of investigate. This is one image, the one that Kyle just showed, is one that really creeped me out. There's silence. You just hear the wind and the ocean. You see that darkly lit, just with the spotlight on the door, as it's slowly opening and closing, creaking, opening and closing. I kind of feel like at that moment something is about to crawl out or poke its head out and scare me. I was kind of like, ooh, this the whole time, really unsettling shot just to hold there. And from there, the fishermen board the ship, and they kind of do a little investigating around, and they find just clothes laying around, seemingly of just people. And they're like, well, where did the people go? We just see their clothes. So they do some further investigation inside, and I love the darkly lit in shadow areas.
Ooh, there it is.
Meanwhile, we see the goop. Coming down the wall there, and unbeknownst to our victims, our future victims here. And one of our fishermen, unlucky fishermen, this is actually one of the Toho contract actors. What is his name? Senkichi Omura, who plays Daichan, the first dissolved fisherman, and there his body. After he is dissolved, he has then become this. Very sad. This guy was also, you recognize him from the TTV translator Kono from King Kong vs. Godzilla. He's kind of like the comic relief in that film. And then we get to the second victim in our story. Yes, the reactions, of course. Who wouldn't have that reaction? I probably would. And there we have the H-Man in form. He kind of glows in this green sort of neon, weird, like ghostly presence. Very, very creepy. Very creepy. And so our next victim is the second fisherman, played by Haruo Nakajima. And looking obviously very frightened. That would be my exact reaction, actually. All three of the reactions. And unfortunately, Haruo Nakajima is so frightened he can't move, and boom, he gets overtaken and dissolved by our H-Man. And this is them escaping. The rest of the fishermen are like, I'm getting out of Dodge. And we get surprise attacked by another H-Man coming over top of the mast there, and on top of one of our other unlucky fishermen, our third victim. And yeah, Sochan, no. Obviously, I would already be gone. I wouldn't even be screaming. I would just be I'd be jumping in the water. I don't even care what I'm seeing. I'm just getting out of there. And then the scariest part is this, the very ominous part of this is at the end. They go and escape to their vessel, and the rest of the crew is like, what happened? Why are you so scared? What's going on? Where are the rest of our buddies? And they are like, they look over on the opposite derelict ship to them, and they see these kind of glowing green bodies kind of just floating. Oh, what's that? And there they are in the distance, just kind of floating there.
I need to watch this again.
Really cool sequence. It was the first big sequence where we actually see them, because before that we hadn't seen them. And afterwards, police investigators are kind of like, well, I don't know, this guy might have had too much morphine or something. But that's the first sequence, and the second one is a little quicker. It's the H-Man. It's basically another pivotal part in the movie where the detectives are scoping out the club where Yumi Shirakawa works at and where the gang is, and they're kind of trying to do two things at once. They're trying to catch these guys in action to see and interrogate them to see who is the one who, to see what happened to Mizaki. Meanwhile, we have the H-Men that are making their appearance. This one comes out underneath the phone booth where Yumi Shirakawa is hanging out. She's calling Dr. Masada, say, hey, you got to get here. Something's going on. And she's now stuck in the phone booth as the H-Men liquid is slowly coming underneath. And then we have our first witnesses from the police. They're like, oh, these things are actually real. We have the two detectives. You have Yoshio Tsuchiya and Yoshifumi Tajima. Yoshifumi Tajima, Kumiyama from Mothra vs. Godzilla, everybody.
Oh.
Yeah. So he unfortunately makes the unfortunate decision to attack the H-Man. That's not a good idea. H-Man, and this is probably the scariest image of the whole movie for me coming up. It absorbs him, and there you have a shot of him basically just bubbling and kind of like melting slowly to the ground. And it's really gross too. And then you see him kind of melting a little more there, and there his hair is the only thing that's left. And it's, very weird. And
love it.
There's another shot there I didn't show of Yoshio Tsuchiya just kind of looking back and like, well, I am out of here. So those are my two scary scenes. Those two stick out for me as being really creepy, really ominous, very Halloween, in my opinion. Now, there are a few little tidbits I wanted to share from this movie. There's some production stills, Kyle, I think that you have there. So the H-Man was released in Japan on June 24th, 1958. Coincidentally, The Blob was released that same year on September 12th.
Yeah.
This came before. So if anybody in the U.S. tried to say that the H-Man was banking off The Blob, no siree. It came out before.
Interesting.
Now, the U.S. release would come a year later on May 28th, 1959. The H-Man, the idea for the H-Man actually came from actor Hideo Unagami, who actually was who penned the story for this. He acted in The Mysterians, and he wrote this story in 1957. So he unfortunately passed away in 1957 from a heart attack in November. So Takeshi Kimura was hired to adapt this because Tomiyuki Takano was like, this is actually a pretty cool story. I think we can adapt this into a script. So Takeshi Kimura was hired to adapt it. And Ishiro Honda obviously was penned to direct. Now, the H-Man is the first entry in Toho's Transforming Humans series. It's an unconnected trilogy of sorts of films that all combine elements of science fiction and film noir. The next two entries in this series would come from The Secret of the Telegian, directed by Jun Fukuda, and The Human Vapor, directed by Ishiro Honda, both in 1960. And this is a newspaper ad from the Grand Island Drive-In Theater of May 1966. It was double billed.
Oh, that's great.
A few movies there. So that was, I forget where I'll have to link the show notes where I found that. I had it noted, but I don't have that with me at the moment of where I grabbed that. So, and the last thing I will go over are a few collectibles. I don't have any myself. Unfortunately, this movie is a little obscure for me to own anything from, and I was hard pressed to find many figures from the H-Man, but I did find something off Mandarake. The Iwakura cast, they never disappoint. They always come out with some really cool, unique things. And one thing they did come out with was Liquid Men series through the Toho Special Effects Encyclopedia. I believe that is somewhere. I believe I have a folder there.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that is the Iwakura cast. Special effects encyclopedia X Liquid Man comes with a frog. The frog, I had not mentioned, comes from a point in the movie where Dr. Masada is doing a test on a frog exposed to radiation. And he shows the frog being exposed to radiation, and from the radiation exposure, the frog melts and bubbles up into this green liquid. And that's where he's trying to make the connection. Look, this is what happened to your boy, Misaki. This is what happened to him. So that's what the frog is all about in the there should have been more photos, but I forget where they were.
I have too many images.
Sorry about that.
I
know.
Not just from you, but just like my program was like giving me that stupid spinning rainbow disc, and I'm like, come on. All right.
I think I sent too many.
There you
go. That's cool. Oh, I love that.
Wow.
I would love to have that. That's a rare piece.
I was gonna get it, but it was sadly already sold out. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah. So, but that was the only thing I was able to find of that. And now you have an H-Man Sufubi. My goodness. Okay, well, you have to share a photo.
I feel like I know who that is.
You have to send a photo in the Collect All Monsters.
Put it in the group. Yeah, the Collect All Monsters.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I'd love to see that figure. I didn't even know one existed. That's fantastic.
Now, David, there is a human vapor statue piece that you own, correct? This is something I wanted David to show off because he has it. That is super unique. I love that so much. Look at that.
There's a couple different ones in that set, and they're all fantastic.
This is the glowy set, and I know Robert Dwyer, if Robert's watching, I know he really wants this, and definitely if I ever sell it or it comes to that, it's yours, my man. But right now it's not going anywhere because it's super cool. And I just love that. It's got the little Oni character on there, the little Hanya woman on there, because that was part of the story. And the fact that they bothered to put this on this figure. And he kind of looks like the H-Man, but he's more air than liquid, you know?
Yes.
And they're super creepy because they sort of resemble radioactive glowing humanoid blobs. That's what they are, really. And I have that film on DVD form anyway, in that box set that comes with Mothra and
the Icons of Science
and Battle in Outer Space. Yeah.
Yes. So I definitely need to. I meant to watch it before this episode, but I didn't get a chance. But now you've piqued my interest to watch it again, so I will do that this weekend. So thanks for sharing a really obscure one. I know a lot of the viewers, are interested in seeing it now, I think, because...
Yeah, in fact, a lot of people are complaining about your spoilers, Jonathan.
Uh-oh.
Did we have this discussion, David?
Old, so
we did.
We have this discussion.
And you can blame me, everybody, because No, blame me. I said to Jonathan, the movie was shot in 1957, so spoilers,
yeah, absolutely.
It's
over.
Guys, I tried.
The argument's over.
Guys, I tried to be. I was very much conflicted over how I was going to explain this movie and show my scenes, but maybe I shouldn't have done that. But
no, you're good, dude.
No, it was good.
Just Eric and Dean by design. We blame. You know what? We blame you guys.
We blame both of you. Okay, both. Okay.
This movie came out in 1958. Okay.
I'll take it. I'll take the blame. It's okay.
But it's a little bit of a slow burn, I will say. So, but definitely check it out because it definitely picks up. It has probably, I will say, one of the most hilarious and worst car chase scenes of any film I've ever seen. But other than that, everything else is golden. I love like the eeriness, the creepiness of it. Ishiro Honda, the boys are doing it. They're in their element for this film, I think. And it's got a bunch of heavy hitters. I didn't really touch on a lot of what a lot of these other actors are in because Kenji Sahara. Everyone knows Yoshio Tsuchiya. Everyone knows. Yumi Shirakawa was in a lot of early stuff. The Mysterians.
I'll be talking about her.
Rodan Gorath. And one thing I did want to note, Hisaya Ito, who plays our first victim, Mizaki, he's the MacGuffin of the film. Everything starts from his point. of his disappearance. He was Malmes, the chief assassin in Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. He was the guy with the sunglasses. And I thought he looked familiar when I was watching. I was like, this guy looks familiar. He's not on the screen for very long, but there you have it. That's it for me, ladies and gentlemen.
I love that Toho reuses their character actors over and over again, and you recognize them.
Absolutely.
And Kono, the actor who was on one of the sailors, he was also the man who volunteered to go get the hat that fell into Mount Aso crater. And
spoilers.
Sorry, spoilers. Alex Sawyer. You see what Alex said?
I couldn't help myself.
You spoil everything. Okay, thanks, Alex. Yeah, we spoil everything. All right. Well,
Eric is asking if that got released in the U.S., and the answer is yes. What David mentioned is a DVD set, but it's also out on Blu-ray now.
Oh, it is? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I actually have the Blu-ray paired with Battle in Outer Space. Mill Creek released it last year, I believe.
Excellent.
All right. So, moving along from Jonathan, we're going to take things over to Jessica, who's going to talk to us about her Kaiju Fright moment. What could it possibly be, Jessica?
What could it be? So, I had to pick a film that I actually have a figure for or from, which I don't have many. So I picked Godzilla Raids Again. Specifically, so I looked at it from a different point of view. I looked at it from the view of the people in the movie, right? So Godzilla 54 was the first time they've ever seen a kaiju. And now here it is a year later, and they're like, oh my God, it's back. What do we do? So then they realize, wait, there's not just one kaiju, there's two. So now they're really panicking, right? So Godzilla's first appearance, when he shows up at the refinery, and he starts destroying it, and they get this bright idea, like, let's drop some flares to lure him away. And it's like, all right, that's a good idea. So, like, everybody's like a sigh of relief. Like, okay, this is over. Like, we can control this situation. But no, what happens? They bring in a second kaiju. And it's like that fear that they must have felt. And it's like, to have these two monsters now meeting in their city, what is the destruction that's going to be like? What I mean, the fear and anxiety these people must have felt, like, I can only imagine. That is, I say to everybody, it is Godzilla's biggest knockdown, drag-out fight in any series. Heisei, Showa, Shinsei, like, out of all of them, like, Angie puts up a pretty damn good fight. Darn good fight.
I'll give you that.
That he does.
I mean, he even takes 2 heat ray blasts to the face and he laughs it off. So, not many other kaiju can say they did that. But as far as like collectibles go, this is actually one of the cast figures.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, that's
God,
great.
don't drop it.
Yeah, don't drop it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. Oh, man.
So it does have a Godzilla piece that comes with it. Oh yeah, it's really big, David.
So well done.
Sorry. And there is a Godzilla that matches, but who needs that?
Oh no.
So this is actually also the D for real. I got both versions.
They did a nice job on that one.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They
They
did.
really,
Oh
they
my
really
God,
did.
he's so
creepy.
so goofy looking.
Oh, I love.
and,
Oh,
like,
I love the bedroom eyes. They're great. Those bedroom creepy eyes.
Yeah, he's so goofy looking, and it's like, sorry, trying to read the comments.
Oh, it was just Alex saying he likes the designs of the monsters.
They're doing well. They're creepy
Alex. So again, both versions, X Plus, the 55, 25 centimeter. Where's my camera? There it is.
Those are very hard to find these days. 25 centimeters.
Yeah,
Yes.
they are.
I
Yes.
never even. They're super hard to find.
I like that one.
Oh, I like it too.
That one's
It's
better
great.
than the 30 centimeter. Oh my
It's
gosh,
better than
I
great.
agree. That's why I have the Zet up on my shelf over there.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
I picked it
I
up
can't
then-
get close
in
to a set.
2015, David.
I wish they.
Oh, right.
I wish they would re-release it.
You never know.
This
Never
is
know.
the
Yeah,
30
that's
centimeter.
that's the one I have. I have the
The
30.
25 is better.
Uh-oh, what just fell?
Lots of things.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well,
Don't
Jessica,
worry.
you know, I as much as I just kind of badmouth the movie, and it's not in my top, tier of movies, I do know what you're saying, because there's a lot of tension when those convicts steal that truck and crash
Yeah,
into
that's another
into the
example.
thing, and then all of a sudden they're like, we are definitely blanked. Now it's done, it's over with, and you can feel
so
that
you're
tension.
You're on a roller coaster throughout the
Yeah.
entire movie, because it's like, all right, we have a ray of hope. Nope, that got taken away from us. Something else is going on. All right, we got rid of Godzilla, but oh no, there's a huge explosion, and we have criminals on the loose now. So it's like it's a constant up and down as far as your emotions throughout the entire film. But like I said, for the people that are living it, the fact that oh my God, now we have two of these things. It was hard enough getting rid of one. We barely even did that. And now we have two. So
Well, that scene specifically was what stood out to me as being really loaded with tension. And actually, there's one other scene that I do really like. It was very Hitchcockian, where I forget the ingenue's name. What's her name? The main female character.
Oh.
Anyway, when she's in her house on the top of the hill, and she looks back and she sees smoldering Osaka. And it's just in the distance, it's very Hitchcock, let's survey the damage from far away. I thought that was a brilliant shot. And anyway, yeah.
So this will be the last piece I show. I could show many more. This is a very prized possession.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's great.
That's fantastic.
That's great. That's fantastic.
How large is
wow,
that?
yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's
special.
like 20 by 16 by 20 or something like that.
Beautiful.
That's nice.
Signed
that's
by.
spectacular.
It looks like Haru Nakajima.
Haru Nakajima. He signs at Chiller up in or I should say down in New Jersey. So, yep.
That's awesome. Nice work.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's a wonderful shot too from the film.
Yeah, that fight scene right there. As a kid, seeing that VHS cover, I mean, there's only one. I mean, you guys all know it's iconic. It's I just love the way that cover that's the one that stands out to me the most. And it's not just because of Anguirus, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful drawing or painting, whatever you would like to call it.
Yes.
Yep, that's it.
Fine
Jonathan's
art.
got it. Yep.
That's what I like to call it.
Yeah.
Nice work.
All right.
Okay, so I think we're up to our man Kyle to talk about his horrific Halloween themed
Right, my friends. I am here to close out our segment on our Kaiju Frights with a deep dive, not a deep dive, but a quick look at the movie that actually did scare me first in the kaiju genre. I've talked about it many, many times. It was my very first kaiju movie, and that, of course, is Rodan the Flying Monster.
Oh, yes.
Woo!
Yeah.
Saw
Yes.
the very first presentation of this I saw was the American version. The Japanese version I also love, but I will say has a little bit of a the end scene where they're firing the rockets and the cannons at the Rodans and the mountain. That was a little long, so I appreciate both versions for different reasons. I really, really have been drawn to Rodan pretty much my entire life. The scene where Kenji Sahara is recalling the baby Rodans hatching and eating the Meganeuron, which are, of course, just as big as a human being. Like, that was one of my first moments seeing someone on screen experiencing terror. And it was just fantastic.
It played out perfectly too.
I love it, and I was really happy I was able to tell him that way back when he came to G Fest in 2009.
Oh, wonderful!
Oh, that's great.
Now this poster is an amazing poster. No, this is actually one of John's pieces.
Wow!
Using one of the X Plus Rodan kits,
wow!
Figures.
Well done. Yeah.
And Rodan is Rodan's scary, and this version of him is scary. It's my favorite version of Rodan, honestly. Which
it's the best thing for the
rest of the kaiju, right? Like a lot of times the kaiju come out and their first iteration is not the definitive look. They get better or change over time. But Rodan wasn't the scariest part of the movie. It was actually the Meganeurons.
Oh, for sure.
And while they look a little bit goofy today, like pantomime horse style, there's like 3 or 4 guys inside of a suit moving along. You can see that the Meganeurons originally were just supposed to be like scary bugs, gigantic scary bugs. Anyway, I don't have any more photos to share, but the scene that I would like to just say, I'm not going to do a synopsis. Who has not seen Rodan? If you haven't seen Rodan, you just go see it. But essentially, Rodan is it's a movie about a giant pteranodon, and I'm not spoiling any more of that. Basically, if you haven't seen Rodan, what the hell are you? I'm just kidding. You need to fix your life. Is really what that means. But
get out of the fandom now. Get out.
Because he's been with me my whole life, Rodan. I love Rodan.
Oh,
and this is at the Godzilla store.
Kawaii.
In 2015, when I was in Monterake with John Bumpus, I found this teeny tiny little Rodan.
Ooh.
Oh, cool!
He's like a flying version. It's from a Bandai set or a Banpresto set, I think.
Fantastic.
Really
can't get enough flying
Rodan. Oh, actually, before I finish showing off, I forgot to highlight my question. The question for you guys who are watching live. I should have given this to you earlier so you'd have more time to answer. But Rodan came out in 1956, and he didn't show up again until 1964 in KAIJU the Three-Headed Monster. So my question for the people watching live is, what the hell happened to Rodan in those 8 years? Because when he shows up later, he looks terrible, and he doesn't look anything like his original form. Like, did he have bad plastic surgery? What's going on there? Anyway, let me know what you think while we're chatting here. I did want to show off this teeny tiny, talking about Iwakura and cast and so forth. They actually did make that's difficult. They did make a baby Rodan coming out of the egg.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
He's nomming on a Meganeuron. This is the closest I have to a Meganeuron in my collection right now. So, David, would you do me the honors of showing off your...
Yes, that beautiful
this is
piece.
The X Plus Meganeuron.
That is such a terrifying sound. That
it is.
Is so terrifying. It's like
that scene in the mine where they're all chained, they're all roped together. Man,
that's absolutely the most
terrifying in the water. Yeah,
you've got 4 guys chained together or tied together, and then one guy in the front is like got the flashlight, and the guy in the back keeps yelling Goro, and he's like, "Shut up!"
Yeah, you yap like a hen.
For me,
And
when the Mega Neuron came through the house,
Yeah.
that was scary.
Oh yeah.
I love the way it moved too. It kind of did this, kind of like my
Yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, Yumi Shirakawa also in Rodan. Jonathan mentioned her from Beauty of the Liquid People. Kenji Sahara plays the lead, which was like the first time he had been like the lead of a kaiju film, and like he did a fantastic job on it. I just really love everything about this monster. I have the Shogun Warriors Rodan, which is not very screen accurate, but this is the very first Rodan kit that probably the only Rodan kit I've ever done. This is exactly Sakuda Hobbies Rodan.
It's awesome.
My very first airbrushed kit.
Beautiful.
And
I love the back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. I've had him in my collection for probably about 20 years.
That's an underrated piece. That's an underrated piece.
Yes.
Rodan is awesome, and so let's see what people had to say.
If I step aside, you can see my Rodan here.
Yes.
That's the Monster Maker 28 Rodan. And
nice.
that's 40 centimeters of awesomeness. And I love Rodan too, just like Kyle. He's awesome.
Great film.
So what do you guys think happened to Rodan in between 1956 and 1964? Why does he look like a Muppet when he shows back up?
Got waterlogged.
Maybe he got hurt because of the lava.
I would just be like, what happened?
And had to heal up.
Well,
he went on a bender.
I'll give you two reasons. One is a fun, whimsical reason, and the other is like probably what they were going for. Like he basically got messed up by that lava, man, and he was so skinny he didn't get to eat any Mega Neuron because they're all dead. And the real reason is because Honda wanted to tone him down a little bit because he was too scary. They wanted him to be more of a comic relief, like sidekick than like a bloodthirsty human-eating flying reptile. So they had to like soften him a little bit, but I think they took it a little bit too far. Because as much as
wonky eyes,
as much as I love the Rodan, it's just not that same creature from 1956 at all. And imagine if it were like if that incarnation of Rodan continued on with the series, that would have been so great, you know. And I think that it was too hard to manipulate that suit too. I mean, really, really hard to manipulate that suit. They had to make it a little bit more accessible to the actor. And
Oh God! Can you imagine that Rodan and Ghidorah three-headed monster? That would have been amazing.
That would have been amazing. That would have been amazing.
Changed the tone for sure.
It would have completely changed the tone. And they wanted it to be more of like a buddy sidekick, you know, like tag team. And they would have definitely fought each other. Like Godzilla they would not have been friends at all. They would have been fighting each other. So
I just love the original. That face.
Too.
Black
quintessential
boxing gloves.
It is the quintessential Rodan, and I love the American version monologue at the end. As Kyo-chan turns to weep on my shoulder, I realize Rodans were doomed.
George Takei.
George Takei.
That's right.
I hope that a 20th century man,
that is not
die so well.
No.
He was in it though, right?
Yeah, he was in it. That voice actor that did that's the same guy that plays Key Luke. That's Key Luke. He played
in what do you call it in
I'm trying to
Kung Fu.
Oh, right, okay.
Kung Fu.
Oh, that's right.
And Gremlins too. And
Gremlins. Yes, he's the guy who gives the Mogwai to the dad.
Yeah.
But that speech at the end,
don't water them.
As melodramatic as it is, it's very effective. It's thank you very much. I'm here all week. One of these days, I'm going to memorize that entire monologue and just do it because it's just so great.
It's just like the one from the end of 1984.
Similar. Yeah, it's similar.
Nothing is better than the 84 monologue, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Excuse me, the 85 monologue.
That's true. The 85 monologue. Yeah,
85 monologue.
I mean, they definitely had a lot of narration throughout Rodan, which was definitely handled better than Godzilla Raids Again. I'm sorry, Jessica, for picking on it so much, but they definitely tell you every single thing. Like you know, especially in the U.S. version, it's just painful to watch all of that narration, that needless narration. It's like, yeah, whatever. My favorite. Oh, Rodan. Ha ha ha. Yeah, the thinker.
Zing.
The Rodan sculpture garden is actually in Philadelphia, John. And when I was a kid, my parents were taking us to see that, and I'm like, "We're going to see Rodan? What? No, sorry, it's not that Rodan.
Oh, right.
It's a different Rodan." But that's in your neck of the woods, the Rodan Sculpture Park or Sculpture Museum.
That's right.
So.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys all for hanging out and talking to us about your Kaiju Frights. We have spent some time on the subject, and now we're going to move on, and that's going to be our Monster Showcase. Before we head off to watch the Monster Showcase with you guys, though, we have to talk about the giveaway. The giveaway. And, you know, I know the one I have is in a plastic bag, so we are going to ship it in a plastic bag. But if you want to see what this thing looks like in real life, there you have it. That is the clear outer vinyl shell with the gold circuitry inner of King Joe. Very similar to the Mechagodzilla that Mara-san did last year. And absolutely, I mean, I've held it in my hands several times. It is just stunningly beautiful. I want to give a huge shout out to AG Kaminaga, who actually, the president of Marusan, actually sent us this for this contest, for this giveaway. And we can only hope that kind of goodwill that we're hopefully working with these toy manufacturers continues in the future. So what I want to do is I wanted to say, if you've won a contest in the past, you're totally open to winning this contest. This is a big high-end figure. What did I say? Instant Sofubi cred.
Totally.
If you don't have a Sofubi collection. I'm going to tell you guys right now that what we're going to do is we're going to use the StreamYard giveaway tool. The way you enter to win is in the live chat. I want you to use a comment with a hashtag KingMe.
Yes.
And in the meantime, I will open up the StreamYard giveaway tool.
So I just want to say to whoever wins this, it would be great if you could post some pictures of it in our group so we could forward them on to Kaminaga-san so he can see that this is really going. You know, Kyle didn't decide to keep it himself, which is
tempting.
Which definitely is tempting because that is a dope piece. I don't even collect Ultra 7 stuff, and I love it. You know,
it's a top tier piece.
It is instant Sofubi cred, as Kyle says. So good luck to everybody. And aren't you glad you stuck around, everybody?
That's right. That's right. You should be glad you stuck around, because not only are we giving away a killer figure, we are also going to be watching the Monster Showcase, which you guys have.
Woo!
Actually, David, why don't you introduce the Monster Showcase for me?
Sure. The Monster Showcase we decided to do in keeping with the October theme is Kaiju-Ween. And we were a little bit vague about what it meant. Halloween decorations, Halloween candy. We just kind of let anything go. Anything spooky or scary or Halloween-ish to go with your photos. And we got some really, really great, fun submissions. It's going to be tough to pick a winner. And remember that our favorite photo is going to get a Collect All Monsters mug. And not only that, you will be eligible to win one big grand prize that we're going to put all of the month's winners in, and we're going to have a grand prize in I guess we'll do it in December, right? Just do it in December?
That makes sense to do it in December, yeah.
For like the holidays time. So you will be in the running for the grand prize, but in the meantime, you will be getting a Collect All Monsters mug. So without further ado, let's see what you guys did.
Back.
Love it. Aww.
Good colors.
Scary.
Scary. I'm glad to see the
Very nice. Nice, Robert.
Oh, cool. Robert.
Perfect.
Dick.
I love that one. Great.
Yes.
Oh, there's Jonathan. Scary monkey. Oh.
God, I love that one.
John Logan.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, give me some of that candy. Love it.
Wait, is that Orson Zilla? I can't.
I think that might be. Oh, I love Ed. Ed's is great.
Wow, Ed got his.
Dell always.
Yep.
Love it.
That's kind of funny.
Yes.
Love it. I love it.
Oh, that was a great one.
Oh, those are those little figures. I love those little.
Scary Smoggy. That's a cool one.
That's cool. Nice, Adrian.
I love Adrian's atmosphere.
It's got a fog machine or something. Nice. Always does a great job. God, I love the That's great. That's great.
All right, well done, everyone. Thank you so much for your submissions.
Work, everybody.
If you caught that very last tidbit there, we are having our next month episode, and it will have a new hashtag. Next month's episode is, let's see, we're going to have Kaiju Cast people on here versus Collectible Monsters people. That's the plan, at least, so we'll see how that goes. But we are doing nothing but Godzilla as the hashtag, because I want to see you guys take one photo and cram as many Godzillas as you can in that photo. And the reason I want to do this is twofold. Number one, I want to see you guys get creative and show off a ton of Godzilla stuff. Don't forget, it's not just figures. It could be anything collectible related. The other reason for doing this is we normally also say add Collectible Monsters to the hashtag. If you're posting these on Instagram or Twitter or what have you, please also add Godzilla Day as a hashtag, because that's a real hashtag. That's a hashtag that Toho is using to collect Godzilla Day posts, and they're encouraging people to do that. So my suggestion to anyone watching live that wants to get involved is to post your picture publicly and also tag it Godzilla Day, in addition to Nothing But Godzilla, because that's the real one, you know. So use Collectible Monsters, use Godzilla Day, but make sure to use Nothing But Godzilla. And we will, of course, see what you guys end up doing for this next episode.
Absolutely.
Okay, are you guys ready? Because it's time to pick a winner.
Let's give somebody a King Joe.
All right, start collecting those comments, please, StreamYard. Looks like we have 24 entries.
Okay.
Wow. Woo.
All right.
24 entries and 42 people watching live. Okay. All right.
Only 24? Okay. No.
That's crazy.
That's okay.
The rest of those people are like, who's King Joe? All right. King Joe, one of my favorite episodes of
Matthew Bazell.
Dude, congratulations,
Matthew.
Matthew.
Awesome.
You must be watching live, so make sure you send me a message on Facebook. I think we're connected on Facebook, and I will get this sent out to you as soon as I can, man. Congratulations.
That's
I don't know
awesome,
if you
Matthew.
have like a Sofubi collection or not, but we're so happy that we could help facilitate this. Thanks, Matthew.
That's
Thanks to
so
everybody who
great.
put in an entry, and that's going to do it for this particular episode of the Collectible Monsters. Let's see here. Before we finish, did Jonathan and and Jessica, did you guys actually see what the little closing blurbs at the end?
I did, yes.
All right, cool. Well then, we are going to be giving away something else next month, although I don't know what it is yet. We have a few items left that were donated by our anonymous donor. And we will definitely be giving those away. There's one coming next month and another one coming the following month. And then we got a whole nother year of giveaways to plan out. So
episode 21, guys, that's crazy, right? 21.
That's
this is like
crazy.
we're doing this thing, and
it goes by so fast.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Matthew. Real quick, I think I saw my friend from Seattle, Scott Dilly, who lives in Seattle, trying to win the King Joe. So Scott, welcome. Oh, there he is. He did. Scott, thanks for watching. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Cool.
Right on. Okay, so we'll just close out the show now, and I'll have David kick things off with his, and then we'll go to Jonathan, then Jessica, then John, and me. Just, so the people who are on screen know what we're doing.
So if you want this conversation to continue, please join us in our Facebook group and continue to keep posting your photos and those awesome box day videos. Over to you, Jonathan.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button if you had a good time watching the show today.
Woo! Jessica?
Thanks everybody for watching. It was really nice to join you guys. Kyle, I didn't get it, obviously.
Don't keep us a secret. Please share the show with your fellow collectors and kaiju fans, especially if you think they'd enjoy this show.
There you go.
There you go. I was trying to look through my notes all slick.
That's all right. That's all right. You're never coming back again.
It's fine.
It's
good.
No. Just kidding. Yes, you are.
No. If you're not catching us live, and catching us on social media, please leave us a comment on how you enjoyed the show.
That's right. And before I actually kick off my final thing, I just want to say once again, thanks to everybody watching live. Thank you to my co-hosts for being here again. And thank you to Jonathan Portman and Jessica Etchells for subbing for our two missing co-hosts.
Thank you.
Cannot wait to see what's happening in the future. And oh yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you guys off.
No.
But anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching the show. And don't forget to tune in. We're going to post information about this later, but on Godzilla Day on November 3rd, we're going to have a live stream happy hour in the group with Peter Santamaria, Attack Peter, and maybe a few other cool people. And it should be a pretty rad time. And that, again, is going to happen on November 3rd. We'll post more information in the group because it'll also be in the group, too. So having said that, now it's time for my spiel, which is, until next time, our planet may be doomed, our Earth devastated, the monsters are in revolt, and civilization is in chaos. We must unite and collect all monsters.
Monsters.
See ya.